to the No Practice Podcast, where we cover the only sport in the world where there is no practice. With your mini rod driving host, Adam Kester, Tyler Slaw, and Chase Richardson. Strap in for some debates on the world of pulling, exclusive special guests, and a whole lot of nonsense BS. The No Practice Podcast starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to episode number 60 of the No Practice Podcast. You might think we're late, almost 10 minutes late, but we actually were on. We thought we were rolling. We were hitting some technical difficulties. Chase was here. Now he's back. He's joining us live. Adam Kester's not here. Jason Schultz in as Kester's stunt double, but another guest host for this evening, my father, Mr. Farmer Bruce. Bruce, how are we doing this evening?
I am doing well. It's an honor to be on here. Last time I was on here was for you at Bowling Green. And the other thing is, too, is I got to wish my son here a happy birthday. It's his birthday today. Tax day.
Yes, as a wee child, Bruce would tell me that I would grow old and learn to hate my birthday because it would cost me a lot of money. And I used to not understand that as a child, but now I do. As I sat on the computer this morning and had to pay all sorts of taxes because it's the 15th of April. So people out there, if you haven't paid your taxes yet, make sure you get on that or you're going to get in trouble.
And the first comment was for Farmer Bruce. So how awesome is that?
Yes,
So
yes, of course.
I love it.
Bruce, if you want to tell people what you were up to when I walked over about a half hour ago to ask you, traditional fashion, last minute, I asked you about 30 minutes ago if you wanted to be a guest host in Adam's absence. And what were you busy doing?
Well, I was busy trying to work on a pulling tractor to get it ready for the pull here coming up. I had my phone basically turned off. I was degreeing a cam in, and I was putting install heights on a head. So that's something you don't like to be bothered with. And but I did get it done. So I got that done, and then I was going to get something to eat and sit down and watch a show. But looks like a little bit involved in it.
You are Bruce. You are the show tonight. So
I doubt that.
So I'm excited to be on here tonight because Jeff Hirt's coming on tonight, and I think this will probably be a top 5 watch show tonight because Jeff Hirt generates excitement. We put a post up on Facebook, Bruce, before the show that when you see Jeff Hirt, what's the first thing you think of? And like immediately there's like 50 comments on there. So that was pretty exciting. So he's a big guest, and with him having a 4-engine modified now, I think people are pretty jacked about that. So.
Yeah, I would think so. I think Jeffrey would do a
I'm
good
sorry,
job,
I'm a little sorry. Give me a tally for that, Tyler. Sorry, I'm a little late to the show here. The conditions are I'm not going to say they're bad; they're just different. But we refuse to cancel a No Practice Podcast for you fans. But who the hell let Jason Schultz on here is all I want to know. I love seeing you, Bruce, but why is Schultz on air?
I had the link. I work for Full Pull, so I just thought I could come on and do what I want.
So being that No Practice Podcast is taking the rise of most popular podcasts and pulling, you stepped away from Let's Grow Pulling. You don't do that, and you just backdoored Adam on this. It sounds like a typical Schultz thing.
It's what I do.
I think we got to do a wellness check on Adam. We actually don't know if Jason's currently at Adam's house, and he has Adam hog-tied with a rag in his mouth behind that wall that he's sitting in front of. So you never know.
Actually, this is a monumental show because it's a monumental show because I think I've missed one or two. Tyler's had to miss one. Adam let us hear about it all the time, how he never missed, but I guess all good things come to end. So congrats on a run, Adam. I know you're probably listening at home, but we'll look forward to getting you back in here and getting Jason out. And Jason, maybe it's a good time we could talk about you and some of your history of being in the classified pages or in the court pages here before long. So people have asked for you to come on, but let's get to that later.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you mean my Mike Beck situation?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Would you care to comment on that?
I would love
hang on a second. For people that don't know what's going on, during the Christmas holidays, I don't know what exactly transpired, but the AI pictures and whatnot had holidays. So I don't, Jason, your situation sounds like you got it worked out, but the internet never fails. The internet's always undefeated, and guys like you always add to it. So carry on.
No, it was very enjoyable. It ruined my month of December that I don't pay my bills. I can handle a lot of rumors, Tyler and Bruce, but me not paying my bills is one of them I don't do well with. So
I hear you there.
It got a little ugly. Mike Beck would not call me or talk to me. I had to talk to his attorney. I agreed to buy that tractor over a 2-year period after an initial down payment, got the payment, and the wire sat in his bank for 17 days because of one digit was off. So instead of just like talking through it, he decided to take me to small claims court. And then some of my Jason Schultz fan club got a hold of that in the state of Ohio and put that on Facebook. And then people started making memes about me of like, what were the Minnesota those the little fellers up there making up those fake daycares, Somalis.
Yes.
Somebody compared me to a Somali pirate. I was called the biggest fraud in polling. It was actually, like I said, I only have one feeling and my wife owns it, but that got under my skin a little bit because none of it was true. But there's two sides to every story. Mike had a bad year.
Three sides. Yeah.
So I signed an agreement because Mike had a bad year farming, and it was ugly. But I paid 9% interest, so I paid an extra $30,000 for the tractor. But he did sell it to me on payment over a couple years, and that's the only way I could afford to do it. And so I'm glad it's done now, and I hope Mike's happy drag racing, and I hope I never have to see him for the rest of my life.
So Jason, whenever obviously you and I are friends and talk off air, despite what I say on air, why would you buy a tractor on a payment plan? I got to ask you that because I've asked you 100 times, and I think that's a fair question. It's not typical business, but there are good people, good friends, and pulling. Is that would you mind just to tell people why, or because I still never understand why you did that?
Well, I couldn't do it all at once. So I talked to Mike at the Enderley. Actually, Jeff Hirt, who's our guest tonight, connected me with Mike. And I talked to him at the Enderley in 23, right? 24, 25, and 23. And he said, hey, I really want you to buy this tractor because I know you'll keep it a diesel super stock. And I was like, hell yeah, that's what I want to do. But I was honest with him. Like, I can't do I think we agreed to $275 for the tractor. And then $50,000.
Oh, it's on the internet. Parts. It's on the internet.
Oh, I know. Yeah, no. So I told him I had half the money down, and I could do that, and I needed 2 years to pay for the rest of it. And he said, no problem. And like I said, it went good until that first year, and he had a bad year farming, and I had to talk to his banker because he said, hey, Mike said you're going to pay this tractor off all at once. And I said, no, I can't do it all at once. I said 2 years, and we never had a formal agreement. It was just a handshake. Deal over the phone, and it got sideways. And so, I wanted to buy a diesel super stock, and I'm a mortgage loan officer. Everybody thinks I make my money on YouTube just standing at the end of the track filming tractor pulling videos, and that's not true. I actually have a real job. I'm a mortgage loan officer, but interest rates have been higher the last 3 years, and I could not build a diesel super stock today, Bruce, for 3.25. I mean, it would cost me half to 6 probably, right? So, and it's got an Engler chassis.
I understand.
It's got an Engler chassis. It's got all the good shit on it. And Mike got third at the Enderley with it, that last pole that he hooked it at. And so it's behind a little bit. I haven't had any money to put parts into it, but it's getting a new Weimer Sigma pump on it this year. And we're going to rewrap it. And we're going to call it, it's paid for. It's no longer Mike Beck's high-tech redneck. It's Jason Schultz's. So that's going to be the new wrap on it. So we're going to unveil that at the Busch Light Nationals. So I want all the YouTubers to be at my trailer, Tyler, so we would roll it out like the Pro Stocks at Louisville. So not Mike Beck's high-tech redneck. Big block letters. It's my.
Oh my. Well, in all fairness, maybe we'll have to get Mike on here to tell his side of it sometime.
Yeah, I'll give you his phone number. He won't answer my phone number. He won't answer my phone call.
Yeah.
Well, if this gets back to him, he has an open invite to tell his side of it, because we like hearing two sides to every story. But enough of that. I feel like we need to get to the elephant in the room. Chase has joined us from bars in Nashville and God knows what sort of seedy hotel rooms he's been in, joining us on the show. But Chase, can you describe to us what's going on right now? You appear to be mobile. I see what
Yeah.
appears to be, I think, a window behind you. Break it down for us.
Yeah. Apologies for the logistical changes, but hopefully I've got some of these AirPod things. They work pretty good, noise cancellation. Hopefully everyone can hear me good. But yeah, I'm riding passenger alongside with Mr. PK. Doesn't look at the road, talks to the cell phone. Kelly, Bill Kelly works for Full Full, and we are. We jetted out this morning. I jetted out this morning, 4 a.m. to go to Winston-Salem, North Carolina to pick up a purchase that we've made for pulling events, honestly, for the sport of pulling, across the board, a new video board that PK, through some of his NASCAR contacts previously, found us a great opportunity and something we couldn't pass up, and it's going to be utilized in a big jumbo screen, kind of like what you may have saw at Bowling Green. I think at the end of the track, it was, I think they called it Bad Vision, something along the terms of that. But this has Crow's Nest, VIP hospitality stuff. Looking to debut it, here at Evansville for long. So we were gonna go Friday, but I had to leave this morning. Left Kentucky. PK flew in for Pittsburgh. I picked him up at the airport. We went to the site, spent some time with the people, and now we're heading home. We're going to trek it all night back home.
Okay, so what we're looking at here for our audio-only listeners is what appears to be Mr. Chase Richardson in a international day cab semi pulling into the airport pickup as one PK approaches the vehicle and checks out the rig. And you can imagine the sights Chase got.
Back there. Bruce, you see the Case IH, right?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. It's a Case IH. Is that what you're saying?
So, the Case IH, the stickers in the back windshield, bro. And out the check, pulled right in there, picked PK up, and off the list. Now we're doing a podcast.
Yeah, that's quite something. People no doubt had to be wondering if you were some sort of terrorist driving that semi truck into the airport pickup. No question.
An Uber with explosives, Tyler. So
do we have a picture of said video board? I'm intrigued.
There she is. Yeah, it's there.
Nice.
We were going through some stuff, and that you see where I'm standing there to the left, and PK. Those are two lookout, kind of going to be like Crow's Nest hospitality areas that, hopefully entertain some sponsors and important people to get up there. Tyler, I could probably let you and Bruce up there with certain credentials as it plays out. But had a tutorial with the guy, and there she is. She's pretty big.
I gotta say that does not look cheap. For the people that are listening audio only, what do you think the dimensions are of the actual screen that appears to raise out of the top of the trailer?
This is how involved I am. PK, how big is the screen? It's the biggest one. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, it's the big one, boy.
Looks like it's about 12 foot tall.
How tall is it? It's like 26 some foot wide. I really did my background, but we did big on Tyler.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would guess that 10 to 12 feet tall and, damn near 30 foot wide. It's a giant screen.
Well, we know how tall Chase is, Tyler. So.
Yeah, we see people commenting saying that is definitely NASCAR shit for sure.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I don't know. We don't know how to plug it in yet, but we got a month to figure that out and get it going. But yeah, it was pretty memorable day, and really excited about this opportunity for all big events and pullers everywhere. So this is much needed.
I see.
And shout out to PK for his NASCAR people for hooking us up.
Yeah, I feel like anytime you can put eyes on it, I would imagine replays will be playing on that in between runs.
Just like Tyler, just like what we do, at a Grand National now. Whatever we put on the live stream is going to be up on the board.
Yeah, I feel like we saw the introduction of this with, I think it was called the Bauer Vision there for a while, something like that, where we had the screen at the end of the track. But I got to say, this looks quite sizable. Well, I believe we have some fan questions to get into. Well, no, before that, I feel like we were going to recap our Florida trip, right, Dad? We just went down to Florida for a week.
We did.
And part of going to Florida for a week is our annual bar crawl. And we go to Anna Maria Island, Florida. And people don't realize how much drinking a fella can actually do. So we start at a bakery, stop 1. We're at stop 2 right here. We get started early. We set our alarms for like 6 a.m. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And so right there, North Shore Cafe, there's some people, waiting in line with their children to get breakfast. We waited for that to open at 8 a.m. And we walk up to the counter and all we order is a Mick Ultra. We go to a local coffee shop. We get a beverage there. And it was a good time. I think our record in past years, Dad, was what, 28, was it maybe?
I think it was 26. We did in 24.
26, yep. 26, 24. And
the number was 30. It was 31 this year.
It was 34, I believe.
34. Wow, you shattered that shit.
Not for me though. I wasn't involved in all that.
So,
Farmer Bruce still ain't 100%, but I made
we
part
need
of
Farmer
it.
Bruce. Yeah.
Yeah, I knocked on Bruce's bedroom door at about 6:20 in the morning. I'm like, Dad, are you ready to wake up and go drink beer? And he's like, No, you're gonna have to give me a minute. I'll catch up with you later. But my brother-in-law Kyle, he stuck it out and he hit all the stops with me. Here we can see Bruce at his favorite burger joint. He's in on the action there, and it was a pretty good time. We set the bar high for next year for sure.
What was your favorite spot out of the 34, Tyler? If you had to name one spot that stood out, what was that spot? I think I asked this last year.
Well,
there has to be one.
Grocery store.
Yeah,
beer,
the grocery store is always good. So the foundation of getting to 34 places in a day is you got to start super early, and a lot of the places that sell beer aren't open that early. So I traditionally will always go to the Publix and swing in there and buy a 6-pack for all of us doing the bar crawl. And you always get some funny looks when you just buy that, take it to another bar, and you wait in the parking lot drinking a beverage to walk in and get an additional beverage.
Sounds like a tractor pull.
Yeah, pretty much. And so while we do this, of course, safety first. We don't drive. You can't hardly get around on that island driving anywhere fast anyhow. But we take our pedal bikes. So throughout the day, as we're bar hopping, I think it was right around 25 miles that we biked to get to all of these establishments throughout the day. So it's an endurance.
Were you sore? Were you sore the next day from the bike or from the alcohol fatigue? You had to be a little sore.
Honestly, neither. I feel like I woke up at about, I don't know, 7:30, 8 in the morning, something like that. And I was feeling fine. My brother-in-law, Kyle, I feel like he was feeling a little rough. Now, to be fair, I didn't put down 34 beverages the day after we did this. It was a one-day thing. That's the day you go hard. You plan for it. I see a guy in the comments says, you have no idea. I went through 2 30-packs of Busch Light at Big Andy's wedding in 2 hours before the ceremony. No, hang on. That you're claiming that you're drinking 60 beers in 2 hours. That is an unrealistic pace, sir. I don't know that anybody can hang with that. There might be a bit of tomfoolery going on.
Yeah, that guy's a storyteller, Tyler. He changes his name on YouTube. Yeah, Stu one day and then William another day. You got to keep an eye on that guy. So.
Yeah, I bet he's not the classifieds or the papers.
Yeah, you never know. But Anna Maria Island is a underrated place that you can actually go to and bar hop throughout the day.
Yeah,
so it was cool. I think it's coming up. I went to a moose lodge for the first time. Have you guys ever been to a moose lodge?
I have, of course.
Yeah.
In Kentucky, I grew up in a time where we lived, we couldn't buy alcohol. We would go to the next counties over, but the only place you could go solicit a drink was the American Legion, VFW, or Moose Lodge. So they're world renowned where I'm from. Now you can buy alcohol freely, but a little Kentucky trivia there for you.
Are you talking like before you were 21, Chase, or like actually?
Only after. Chase went drink before he was 21.
I went to tractor pull. I just went to tractor pulls when I drink.
Right. No, Tyler, when I think of Kentucky, I don't think of that as a dry state after spending time down here. I would think it's a very, very wet state.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like the bourbon state, right? It's where everybody
Right.
goes to go on bourbon tours. So
I thought Chase maybe was making up a story just to.
he typically
they
does
say
make up
where
stories.
they say where we're from is the Bible Belt, but we just get a lot of belt whippings, I guess.
Oh, yeah. There you go. So yeah, here we see it closing out at stop number 32. And if memory serves me right, I might have double tagged 2 number 33s, but enable for someone to really correct me on that. They're going to have to hit 34 themselves and not mess up a number throughout the day.
Yeah.
So I was see, there it is, number 33 twice.
So Tyler, what's the deal again? It's one drink for let's say somebody's watching the podcast for the first time ever because they're a big Jeff Hirt fan and they've never heard of the No Practice podcast or you and this bar crawl. Give us the 30-second rules for you in this deal.
Yeah. So basically it is 1 drink per person at each bar. So like the very first year, when my sister was married, she brings her husband, he's joining us on it. And he goes early in the day and he orders a second drink at like the 3rd bar. And Bruce, what'd you say to him?
I told him he ain't been on this before because he ain't going to make the inn.
Yeah. you don't get 2 at one bar. It is an endurance.
What was the total cost?
Slaw family.
Tyler, what was the total cost of the 34?
Oh, I don't keep track of that. So I try to be pretty fiscally responsible with myself, and every month I get my credit card statement, and I keep track of what I spent on things of leisure or an old truck I'm working on, etc. But my little loophole to that is if I take cash with me, that's guilt-free spending because I can't look back at it and judge myself. So I got a little area in my wallet where I'll keep the large bills, and if you dip into that, it's guilt-free spending. I can't look back at it a month later and judge myself.
I like that. That's solid.
That's vacation. Vacation's vacation.
Vacation's vacation. That's why whatever happens Vegas stays in Vegas. I like it.
There you go. So anyway.
Hey, it's a lot cheaper than tractor pulling, I'll tell you that.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
yes, it is.
Well,
so Chase is bouncing across North Carolina or wherever they went to pick up the board. He's back now. So
no, I when something happens to my phone, I lose audio and I got to refresh it. I'm not going to tell you what it is though, because I don't want it to happen again. So
somebody's calling him.
Oh, well done. Tyler, congrats on another well-accomplished bar crawl. Bruce, glad to see you back in the game. I expect nothing more than you to be there, for number 36 next year. Bar crawl, 36 bars.
We're going to try.
Yeah. We set the bar high for him.
So, Bruce, were you getting the tractors ready for the Pullers Championship? I like that event a lot. So.
Yeah. So we look forward to it every year. In fact, I got a hold of you this morning because Tyler said we got to send our money in. Of course, most people know I'm not on social media, so it's like, okay, where, when, how, what. So.
Well, you kind of are because Tyler put your stuff on Snapchat. So you're sort of kind of on social media, Farmer Bruce. That's how.
Well, I'm on Snapchat, I guess.
Oh, okay.
All that, but that's about it.
Right.
You can't snap your way to the Pullers Championship, though.
No, well, sometimes I have a hard time. I get Tyler to come over after work to get my computer going in my office.
Yeah.
And he once in a while he'll call me a dumbass, and he says, "You got to turn it on, Dad." And I says, "Well, how do you turn it on?" He said, "This button right here." And I said, "Well, I just always leave it on."
Yeah.
But if the power flashes, it turns off, I guess.
So
that's about how good I am with a computer.
We've discussed
Yeah, that's good, Chase. We can't hardly hear you.
Sometimes it's better this way. I wish my text messages did this. So,
yeah,
it's all good.
Well, I think Chase had a surprise video that he wanted to show. I see something about that in the chat. I don't really. Oh
yeah, there we go.
Okay, so this did happen. You rascals in your video footage, people sending this in. So what you're viewing here is you just saw a gentleman dive into the water to get a straw hat. And unfortunately for me, mid-bar crawl, my favorite straw hat blew off of my head. Now, see this guy on the bike going over the bridge, heading to the next bar there? That's actually Bruce. He's already heading to the next bar. He has no time for antics. So what happened is my straw hat blew off my head into the water, and I stood there thinking, well, I don't really want to get wet. Like, I'm on a mission today, but I also don't want to get my face sunburnt. So
Right.
I stripped down to my boxers right there and did what may be the worst dive imaginable into the water and climbed on some random guy's boat to get out of the water and slapped my clothes back on, and we continued on. So there you see Bruce on his bike already heading to the next bar. He's like,
I think that's a good poll question, Tyler. People in the comments, what would you do? Do you want to go for a sunburn or do you want to get wet?
Yeah.
Tyler chose to get wet. I think that's a good poll question. So
Well, that's about 18 beers into it too. So I mean, you
Right.
think a little bit different then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tyler,
It
you
did-
have a
it
way
wasn't
of making
deep
new
there.
friends.
Oh yeah. The funniest thing was a guy at the end of the night, like stop 26. He comes up to me and he's like,
That guy right there.
yeah, he's like, dude, you were the one that stripped down and dove into the water, weren't you? And I was like, yep, that is me. He's like, oh, I've been telling everybody about that. That was an inspiration. He's like, most people would say, screw it, I'll buy a new hat. You said F that and just dropped your pants, ripped your shirt off, and dove in. I'm like,
Whose
yep.
Whose boat was that?
I have no idea whose boat that was. So, yeah. All right. Enough about just drinking like silly gooses. It's time to get to our fan questions. Let's get to some tractor pulling related content. As always, every show we reach out to the fans. We tell them they can call, they can text 270-681-0509. First question, what is the worst wild ride, wreck, or fire that you can remember being in or watching? Side note, were any of you at Fort Recovery for the Walsh Brothers incident in 1998? Bruce, I'll let you start us out.
Yeah, I was there in 1998. In fact, I was had my mini rod sold, and I was going to start pulling modified in '99. I started walking over there, and somebody grabbed me by my back of my collar and about jerked me off my feet. And he said, "Don't go down there and look at that if you're going to get in one of them things next year." It was good though that Walsh just walked away from it, didn't get hurt. And that's kind of, the roll cages came involved. Kind of that next year, there was also an incident at Toma with Roses with his
Super
diesel
stock.
super stock.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of safety equipment coming out there. It gets wild. But we all know when we get in the tractor what's going on. I'm gonna say one of the most memorable ones for me was when my son was running mini rod the first year or whatever. He went down the track and twisted off an input shaft and went up in a ball of fire. And I was actually driving Simon's two-wheeler that night too. So I started Tyler. As soon as I got him back to the sled, I went running over to the two-wheeler because I was next to Hook on the other track up in Iowa. And I was all strapped in. I seen that go on. And I got thinking, well, I better see if he's all right. So I got running over there. I asked him if he was all right. He said, yeah, how bad is it? I said, bad. And I just ran back and I made my pull. And we got back to the pit. He said, Dad, how did you know it was so bad? And I said, when there's wrist pins laying on the ground, it's bad. So that was probably one of my more memorable
That's pretty funny.
ones.
I like hearing it from my
And I
father's
guess
perspective.
when my throttle stuck in 99 on my 3-engine mod that at Bowling Green, that was pretty memorable also.
For the people, Dad, that don't know what happened with Walsh's, how would you best summarize that story?
Oh, I'm going to say the sled malfunctioned and went out the end, and he was in his turbine. And, of course, they don't shut down quick. But on the same token, nobody knew what was going on till he was blowing it out the end and never slowing down. So the tractor, I believe, flipped up on its side, hit some of the Jersey barriers, which are the big cement things that are in between interstate when you work on it, crashed into them. Like I said, I did not go over there to look. I heard about it, seen pictures. I seen it from the starting line. Just glad that nobody got hurt out of that deal. Good Lord was watching out for us.
And the other thing to
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going well, Chase.
I think we'll have our producer just whack him when it's getting bad.
All right, Chase, you can try that
lost
one
you
more
again.
time. You broke up a little bit there. All right, nope, he's gone. So, yeah, I would say watching mine would have to be the one where at Bowling Green when all the motors dumped off of the track and everything, or dumped off of the tractor. I forget which one of the Benedict tractors it was, one of their 4-engine tractors, but the motors I forget.
I think the blown scentless one.
Yeah, I forget if it was Brad
Raj.
Benedict or Kevin driving, but yeah, when you have to back a pickup truck out onto the track and lift motors up and load them into the bed of a truck before you get the tractor off the track, that's setting the benchmark pretty high, in my opinion, as far as a wild ride. As far as wildest ride I've been on, I would say it's when I ripped the 1/2-inch hitch pin out of my hitch in Raleigh, North Carolina, and my tractor came unhooked from the sled and went flying up in the air and landed down on the nose, and I was staring at the ground for a minute, and then it settled back down. So I believe I can claim that I am the reason mini rods.
I think you're right.
Are we still live? Okay.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep, I lost my connection for a second, but I believe, as I was saying, that I am the reason mini rods now have to use a 5/8 hitch pin because of that little incident down in Raleigh, North Carolina there. So,
It's Mr. 5/8 inch Tyler Slaw.
yep, there you go.
On that Walsh incident, what I was saying, I think another keynote with that night and what happened there historically, at that time, there was not a requirement to have roll cages on tractors. And in that unlimited class, I think there was probably 3 tractors of about 10 that had roll cages. And thankfully, that was one of them that rolled over. And from there, it became pretty well standard that everything had to have a roll cage. So to Bruce's point, thank God nothing worse happened that night. My worst ride ever is the one in this intro here you see. I was actually in my cousin CJ's mini rod at the time. It was in Henry, Illinois, and it actually knocked me out. But luckily, I didn't kill myself any worse. So yeah, that was my experience.
And then what? Then what, Chase? About 4 tractors later, you had to get in and drive yours.
Yeah. So this is a good Bruce story. There was one between. So I pulled CJ's tractor like second in classes early, and then my tractor was 4th. There's one between. And like, I didn't tell them I was knocked out. I got out of the track and I walked back to the start line, but like, I don't even really remember much of this. And I remember getting strapped in. Like, I'd say looking back, I probably had a concussion, but I mean, just the symptoms and thinking about it. But Bruce came up to me and like in brain fog. And I just remember him telling me right before he started, he said something along the lines of, "You're going to drive the piss out of this thing and go into the lead." And by God, I did. And I think I finished 3rd or 4th that night, but Bruce gave me a little pep in my step. Something along those lines. It was something like that, right, Bruce? I don't really remember.
Yeah, it was pretty much spot on like that. And then one of the other guys walked over there too, and they said, "Hey, weren't you just that one that went for that wild ride? Are you all right?" And one of the fire guys or something, you said, "No, that was some other asshole."
Oh yeah, that's exactly what. No, the EMTs walked over there and said, "Hey, are you the guy we got to check out for that wild ride?" I'm like, "No, that fucker ran that way." about that time I pulled my track. I forgot about that. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Good memories.
I love it. Good question, Luke C. All right, next question. Let's see what else we got here.
Oh, I don't get to partake in that, Tyler?
Oh, I'm sorry, Jason. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, is there, I mean, if I'm going to be Adam, I'd like to partake.
Yeah.
Is it wild ride or is it biggest explosion you've ever seen, Tyler?
Either or.
Yeah. So what is the worst wild ride, wreck, or fire that you can remember being in or watching?
So watching would be Killmeyer's 2016 Bowling Green, the semi, when he just puked the whole front of that motor out front of it. That was insane. I think I saw that in the comments too. And then in 22, my 4-1, Wisner, Nebraska, Thunder by the River. Tyler, you would have been in Bowling Green that night. I was first hook about 25 tractors and went to the end of my run and pulled back on the throttle, and the fuel pump just hung. Got to about 8,000 RPMs, and it all went kaboom. And everybody's like, "Oh, why didn't you shut it off?" And I pulled my fuel, but that 3 seconds, Tyler, that moves fast. That's all I'm going to say. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, Bruce even says when the throttle hung open on his tractor at Bowling Green, in hindsight, you could have A, pulled the fuel shutoffs, or B, of course, you don't know it at the time, but it was a rock that had physically jammed in the linkage. So in reality, if he would have grabbed the throttle and probably extended it wide open, which you don't want to do when you're trying to shut things down, highly likely that small rock would have fallen out of the linkage and he then could have pulled back on the throttle. But when you've got thousands of horsepower chained to a sled that isn't moving, tires are spinning and smoking, oil's flying. It's hard to make the right call. It's easy to shoulda, coulda, woulda in hindsight. So
No, Tony McDonald was my mechanic at the time, and he always said, "Here's the old shit buttons down here. Just pull them up." And I went for him, but it all happened so.
yeah,
How is this really
happens
happening? I was like, "Holy crap, is this really happening?" And then it did happen, and then kaboom. So
then it was too late. All right, next question. Let's see what else we got here. Can I text this number for the No Practice Podcast recommendations? Yes, you can. Great question. Moving on.
Yes.
will they listen to him? Will they listen to him? Probably not.
Yeah. When will they make a tire rule for the two-wheel drive class that everyone can follow? It's getting a little out of hand. So we attempted to have a quote-unquote tire episode this evening, and the fire is currently so hot on the topic. Many players wanted no part of it. They said, I can't handle the heat. I'm staying out of the kitchen. But I feel like eventually when the dust settles, we can bring said key individuals on here to just air it all out, because I feel like that shuts the rumors up. So you key tire people, you need to get on here. We need to
Is it happening in mini rods too, Tyler?
I don't think so. I think it's those two-wheel drive guys that always want to complain.
So my and for those listening, if I'm wrong, please call me to the floor. This is just a general, I guess, high-level overview of what's happened here. So you've had an industry tire that was around for years, and to the credit of other people, they stepped to the plate and began manufacturing these same tires, and we're pushing the envelope like a lot of manufacturers do on, I guess, I don't want to call it gray, but just kind of an open-ended width rule where things weren't very clear on how wide a tire can or can't be. And I'm not saying that tires aren't good, high-quality tires, but obviously they moved to the front, and then other manufacturers are catching up then, and then it turns into, we got all this going on. We got to put these inside some type of box to put more tight rules, because obviously you just don't want to keep making tires wider and wider. I don't think anyone wants that. And I think everyone's trying to find their way through it. We've said this a number of times on a number of topics. I'm in very much high belief that pulling needs to have unified rules amongst all organizations. I'm not saying which rules or how they should do it, but I don't think it doesn't any good to be pitting rules against one another, and unintentionally. I don't think it's done intentionally, but if there was consistency with rules like there are with other motorsports, in standard practices for a two-wheel drive truck, I think it would make everyone's life easier. But I'm not sure if that will ever happen, or just from my observation. So
there's not a tire width rule in two-wheel drive.
Well, there kind of is.
No, stop.
Well,
you mini rod guys.
Well, they got the tire size a little bit from what I know of it with just a mini rod. It talks about certain diameter, certain width. Some people go by what the tread width is. Some people go cross-sectional width, and that really ain't noted. It's all a little bit of a gray area.
Gray.
So how do you interpret the rule?
Yeah.
Maximum width on a tire, I would say, is cross-sectional, the widest width of the tire. Everybody don't read it that way.
The part that I find interesting about this has been determined for a while. From what I understand, this was not news to me. I don't know enough about everyone's stories or situations. Everyone needs to be successful and not lose money from a manufacturer standpoint. I get that, but I don't know why this just is being brought up today, because this has been going. I thought all this was established for a while, but I'm sure I'm missing some details, and hopefully everyone can get along and not make this like a political party where this side or that side. But I understand everyone has special interests as well. Just hoping it all can be resolved.
I feel like the real
biggest thing right now, Tyler, don't you?
I would agree, and I feel like the real turning point was, and Chase can probably back me up on this, was at the National Farm Machinery Show. I believe there was 3 two-wheel drive trucks that had a certain set of tires when things were kind of changing and coming out and getting shook up, so to say. And I feel like all 3 of those sets of tires were 1, 2, and 3 in the finals, Chase. Is that right?
Yeah, that's been a few years ago, and I don't think they did anything wrong. They just played within the rules. and it appeared they got blackballed from there. I don't know if that's true, but they weren't invited back, which who knows what the criteria is to pull there at times. But yeah, that's kind of, I guess, a moment where when you can say, this rule is being pushed. You're like, look, a good manufacturer is going to push the rule book as far as it can, but an organization has to put the wins and negative. Everything can be sorted out, and everyone can work together and see through the better in this. But I get every side of it.
Well, maybe if heat calms down in 2 weeks, we can have the No Practice Podcast Tire Edition. I think we need to try to make that happen. So that's an open invite to the key tire players. Tire episode 2 weeks.
Well, honestly, we've talked about this internally. There's a lot to be a fan and the people we're trying to reach with this show about what goes into building a pulling tire. Like, what's the start to finish process? I mean, there's a lot to talk about beyond, this pissing contest, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like it's an often underappreciated and overlooked component of the pulling vehicle. I mean, it's got tires, but if you really dig into what it takes to make that tire, the different varieties, the different options, the different cuts, there for a while, people were sanding them smooth, putting more lugs on. Now, even in the mini rod class, we have limitations as far as the number of lugs that can be put on them. I can recall Bruce, when he started out pulling, he took a set of mini rod tires. And when I say started pulling again in the mini rod class, he took a set of tires and added an additional lug in between the standard amount of lugs. So each tire had double the amount of lugs on the tire. And we really didn't know what we were doing at the time. So I don't even think we can say if they worked or didn't work, because we were just sucking it up no matter what back then.
Yeah, they didn't work, but maybe they would work for us now. I don't know. But, it's like a lot of people read the rule book, and I'm not saying I'm a lot different. If it don't say it, that means I can do it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. Well, I think ultimately what they're trying to we'll put a bow on this. I think they're trying to avoid the situation where pullers have to keep rebuying tires year after year because of width of a tire type thing. I think that's ultimately what the goal here, and I get that. So hopefully it all gets worked out, and we one day or another we will do a tire edition of No Practice Podcast. So
absolutely. All right, next question. What else we got? Yeah. All right. And, looking for that next question to be thrown up on the screen here. Okay, here we go.
Oh my gosh.
This is a doozy. All right, let's buckle in for a long one.
He's even got his name at the bottom of it. That's impressive.
All right, so we're hearing from a Josh Mickelson here. He says, "Hey fellas, in the interest of making the pulling competition format more interesting to the fans, what's your guys' thoughts on the concept of a pound for pound pull-off? Basically, the winner of each class is brought back at the end of the show to face off for a grand finale pull-off. The sled would have to be normalized per vehicle somehow to make it comparable. Totally realize that's probably an impossible challenge to overcome, but feel it would be very entertaining. Inspiration comes from the RMSHA snowmobile hill climb racing in Jackson Hole, where we take the winners of each class and they face off regardless of vehicle modification level. And then they crown a King of Kings. The format keeps people watching until the very end. It makes the competition for the racers intense, and it's really fun when a 150 horsepower stock sled faces off against a 300 horse boosted open mod sled for bragging rights and some cash. Anyway, too many words. Love listening to the show. Let's keep the sport growing. Thanks for having a place to listen and chime in." Once again, from Mr. Josh Mickelson. I do like that idea.
And Josh, he spelled everything correctly too, Chase.
Yeah, Josh is clearly a scholar. We can see by that.
I like
question.
that. I like it.
So,
sorry.
I like the thought of that in classes where it can even reasonably compare, just for people to see perspective wise, like with the same sled up sled up. What I was trying to say there was sled setup, because I feel like there are classes out there where that could somewhat compare. Like, wasn't there, maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but was it J.R. Collins back in the day when you had your unlimited? He would kind of antagonize you and be like, oh, did they even change the sled from the unlimited class to the semi class? Like, in theory, could a kick-ass super semi, where would that stack up to an unlimited tractor of today's classes? What do you think, Dad?
I think that depending on the track, of course, but I would think the unlimited would probably have the upper hand if you got on a good horsepower track. But a semi weighs 20,000 pounds.
Well, and their hitch height.
Yeah, I think they did a different rules with the hitch. I'm not quite sure on that. I haven't followed that class enough to know on the hitch, but they changed. But there's just, it would be cool. It would be neat to do that, but there's just so many variables in the pulling. I don't know how you could ever really do that. I know they do that a little bit with, I got a dirt drag car now, and I was out Arizona running that, and they kind of do the thing out there too, but it's basically the fastest car out there basically always ends up winning it. You know, they got some rules like that they do in it, but I mean, it's just hard to get everything equalized. It's a cool idea. I like the concept. I just don't know how you do it.
So I love the question and the thought. My knee-jerk immediate reaction was there's no way between sleds and variables and so forth. But as you all are talking, I got a way we can do this. I got a way. All right. So the winner in each class, whatever distance they pulled, they come back again, and whoever improves their distance in total feet. So like if you go 320 and you win the mini rock class, you come back and you run 335 and you got, a plus 15. We can do that across each class, and whoever has the biggest improvements, the winner. Maybe that's a way to do it.
I think that's a decent way, but I still like I feel like the closest comparison, and I guess I'm ignorant to like sled settings of, say, like a 4-wheel drive truck versus a 2-wheel drive truck. Maybe that's another fair comparison, but somebody might call me an idiot and be like, not even close. That could be. But even Doug Borth is saying semi and mod is pretty much the same sled setting. So I feel like we need to, at Bowling Green maybe, or at another pole, have when the semis are there, and maybe like the 4-engine mods. So take, for example, we're at a pole. RJ Simon wins with the driver's wanted truck, and Brandon Simon wins with his 4-engine mod. At the end of the show, they bring both of those guys back out. RJ in his 20,000-pound super semi facing off against Brandon in his 4-engine mod to see. Same sled setting, no changes. Fans, what do you think? Who's going to outpull the other brother? That would be interesting. We should do that in Farley.
Yeah.
That would be entertaining.
Just a thought.
I think it's an idea.
And one thing, this is hard to do, but Chase had a pretty good idea. But I see a lot of comments, Tyler and Chase and Bruce, like, he went 330 feet as well. Sometimes the average fan, or I go to one pull a year, they don't realize that they change the sled. And if an announcer doesn't do a good job of letting them know that they're making that sled harder to pull. So I think that's a neat idea. I like it.
For sure. Josh, excellent question. Thank you for that. All right, let's keep moving here. Could talk about the NTPA clutch can rules and now roll cages that are not TIG welded. To the best of my knowledge, has there ever been a TIG welding requirement on roll cages? I don't believe so. Has there been?
I have no idea. I can't comment, nor do I know that at all.
Tyler, what's the difference between a TIG weld and a normal weld?
Well, a TIG welder uses a piece of tungsten that the electricity is flowing through, and you actually use a piece of filler rod and by hand add the filler material for your weld, where a MIG weld is a splatter gun, formerly known. And that's just, you pull a trigger and you have knobs on your welder to set the heat and the wire feed speed. And as soon as it makes an arc, the wire is just pouring out. It's traditionally a faster, less neat and tidy way to make a weld. Would you agree with that, Dad?
I would. I guess if wire weld is what I call it. Splatter gun is what we call it at work because we food grade equipment. But if you set it up right, you can get good penetration, but a TIG weld usually is always a stronger weld, especially on thin wall tubing, because you get a lot more, I'm going to say, penetration. Welding tubing, you can get it stronger with a TIG welder than you can a wire welder. But you start talking about roll cages, that gets me a little bit going, because there are so many roll cages out there that are not even built to the SFI spec. If you get reading the SFI spec and understand it, and I got ragged out on mine pretty good and had to make changes to it, which was built to the SFI spec at the time. But they don't even know hardly how to read that blueprint.
Who, when you say they, do you mean tech
Guys,
officials?
Bruce is going to earn himself a positivity check here as Brian checks in and he says TIG is colder than MIG welding. I would agree with Brian. It's more of a TIG is a more controlled weld. But I guess I didn't know necessarily that a TIG is a quote unquote stronger weld. To me, it is just a prettier, sexier weld compared to a MIG weld.
Tyler, did you just take the microphone from your father?
Yeah, but I gave it back, so it's okay.
Oh, okay.
He gave it back to me to talk. No, he's fun. This is what you call father-son bonding time. We're disagreeing on stuff.
It is
We
Tyler.
do that
Bruce,
quite a bit. It
Bruce,
makes
it
both
is
of us stronger.
It is Tyler's
Like I
birthday.
say,
It is his birthday.
Yep.
It is his birthday. Be nice.
yeah, a MIG weld, if you know what you're doing, can be strong. A TIG weld can. I guess I can TIG weld stronger than I can MIG weld. We basically TIG weld everything, food grade equipment, of course, but I don't know. I never looked at that if that was a total rule or not, but it probably is. It wouldn't surprise me.
I always thought a MiG was a Russian jet that flew in Top Gun, Tyler.
Well, it could be, Jason. You might be
Okay.
right on that. And as far as the clutch can rule, we've had some discussions behind the scenes on trying to bring on the appropriate people to have a conversation regarding that. So
So you
we
guys
see
are going
Chris-
to have a tech show in the future, and
we
tire
we
show
could
in
have
the
a tech
future?
show. Yeah, we see Chris.
I think we should do a full tech
Full
show.
tech
you-
show. Yeah.
Who would you get on your tech show, fellas?
Oh, I feel like we've had Larry and Marvin speaking on this show in the past.
At the same
so-
time?
Never at the same time.
Yeah,
no,
that would be.
no.
That would be. You might want to charge for that one, guys. So,
Yeah, that'd be a good one. We see
Yeah.
Chris checking in saying welders never read blueprints anyways. I don't know. We got guys at work. They're pretty doggone good. They follow those blueprints. So all right. Next question. We're closing in on an hour already. My goodness. Is the number I can text to make sure everyone knows that Chase sucks?
I think
yeah.
Donald said. I think Donald said that.
Yeah, that's some bit of horseplay there from Donald, no doubt. All right, next question.
What would my day be without people like
Yeah,
that?
well, Chase, we appreciate the efforts you're putting in to get that scoreboard to a tractor pull. So,
Yeah.
May 28th through 30th.
Thank you.
Westside Pulling National.
yeah. Guys, I would like to see your shops, special projects, something started, never finished, and yes, the pulling stuff. What was each of your most cherished trophy? Love the show. Well, I've got a shop here with a lot of junk in it, but mine doesn't even come close to the amount of collections of unfinished projects that special projects the gentleman next to me has.
Special
Dad,
means many things in your household.
If you could just peel through, I don't know, a handful of projects that come to your mind that are just lingering under a roof over on your property.
Well, I got a Army duck boat is what I call it, amphibious, the 6-wheel drive, but that's sitting over here at Tyler's place for him to finish. So
Yeah.
I gave up on that one. I got a 69 Chevy fleet side long box with a 12-valve Cummins in it. That's been in the project for about 10 years. That's drives part of the time not.
Not to interrupt, but shout out to GMS Machine, right?
Yeah, they're the ones that built the motor for it. And I couldn't hold the transmission up behind it, an automatic transmission. I kept blowing that up. So we're working on changing that. I got a 59 GMC 2.5-ton truck that I bought a school bus from Sullivan's from Georgia to put the body on, which I did. And I bought an Army truck that was rolled over with a 3116 Cat, and I put that motor in there, and I got it all on air ride.
With an SCS twin countershaft, right?
Yeah, so I can change the gears in it going down the road. That'd be a nice truck if I ever get it done.
So not to interrupt him here, but everything he just rattled off, that sounded like a lot, but that was a morphing of one project. So he took a 3116 Cat with, I believe, an Allison transmission out of a 2.5-ton Army truck. He bought a school bus from Sullivan's, put the motor and trans from the Army truck in the school bus chassis. Then he got the cab of a 58 Chevy, 59 Chevy, put that on it. Had to get an SCS twin countershaft to get the proper reduction. Built air ride for the back and front. And that's the current state that it's sitting in. I've never even seen it fire up and move. It's all sitting there. It's never started.
Yeah.
Bruce, this is why people love you. This is why
Bruce
people
is
love
like,
you, Bruce.
well, I got the dopamine hit of, mentally getting the project this far so I can actually visualize it. That's really where 90% of the satisfaction is. Time to move on to something else.
Yeah, but see, with that old 59 GMC truck, see, as the kid always said, what are you ever going to do with that? And I said, well, when I get it done, that's going to be my last ride. I says, when I die someday, you're going to throw the coffin on the back. You're going to throw a couple 2-inch ratchet straps over it and bring me to my grave site. So I figure if I don't get that truck done, I can't die yet.
Tyler,
we don't need to take your time getting that one done, Bruce.
Tyler, when Bruce goes to heaven, every vehicle, every project he ever had is going to be in the funeral procession. Okay.
Well, no. Well, that means we're going to have to wait about 15 years from the portion and when he dies to when we have his funeral, because I'm going to have to finish all these damn things.
Well, let's have him cryogenically frozen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Special projects. I've currently got a 67 Chevy that I'm working on putting a 6.2 LS in. I just got the transmission back from my buddy Michael last weekend, right when I got back from Florida. So, I'm excited to get that going. Hopefully come this fall, that'll be running and driving on the road. I was hoping to have it done before pulling season, but pulling season is kind of creeping up on the priority list as the Pullers Championship gets closer. As far as cherished trophies, though, I've got a lot of my favorites displayed here. I saw somebody threw that on Facebook, like, Pullers, do you even like trophies? I do. I think it's cool. I love the Mac Winter Nationals ones are cool. Holzhauer's did some pretty cool ones. We got one right there from Dragway 42, which is like the wooden weight. Trophies are neat. I like them. I got them from Hillsboro. I mean, things like your belt buckles, your rings, stuff like that.
Straw hats are cool. Tyler.
Straw hats, yeah. Straw hats are cool.
Southern
I'd dive in the water for a straw hat, Jason.
Yes, you proved
saw
that,
that earlier.
A Chapel Hill chair. That's that would be nice to add to my collection, but I don't know if I ever get her done.
Yes,
Tyler, what about the
I see Jim chiming in. What about the duck? Yes, Bruce did mention the amphibious duck boat that is actually sitting right over there. If I could, if I didn't have a piece of crap $500 camper sitting in the way, I could actually turn the camera and show you the duck boat. But Chase, what about you? You got any unfinished projects sitting around at your place?
Honestly, just being very honest, I work on pulling tractors. That's kind of my thing to do when I have time to kill. I do have a golf cart that I bought from a friend that needs battery overhaul and replacing. That's just been sitting there, not been touched. So I would say my unfinished project's a golf cart. But my dad, he's a lot like Bruce. There's a project every quarter, so there's not a lot of room for to do it. So he had this collection of
I will
projects
say,
at all times.
Yeah, I've spent some time at the Richardson stable there, the home base, if you will. And Dave has a nice collection of projects as well.
He has stuff he doesn't even know he has, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, Bruce could get there too.
It happens.
I think at one point, Dad, when we were rearranging the shop, didn't we find a billet aluminum block you forgot you even owned?
Maybe.
Yeah. So there you have it. Imagine opening a cardboard box and there's just a Brad Anderson billet block, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's right."
Been looking all over that.
Yeah, not even like damaged, needing to go back to repair, like ready to be assembled,
Yeah.
fresh back from Brad Anderson.
Sell it
So,
to Cletus, Bruce. He likes billet stuff. Cletus
there you go. All right, that's a great question there. Thanks for sending that in. Let's throw another one up there, see what we got. Tyler, I saw a video of your dad pulling in the modified class in Bowling Green in 2000 and his throttle stuck. Man, a lot of references to that. Explain that situation. Also explain your flip at the North Carolina State Fair 10 plus years ago. There you go. I mentioned that too. I'll let Bruce give a quick recap on the throttle sticking, and then I'll give a quick recap on the other.
Yeah, like Tyler had mentioned, there's a stone that came up and got right on the edge of your injector hat where the throttle linkage is, where your throttle cable hooks to. There was a stone that got lodged up in there. And of course, when your throttle sticks, your initial reaction is to pull back on the throttle harder. And instead, if I would have probably just whacked the throttle, the stone probably would have just fell out of there. Everything would have been fine. Instead, it didn't. I got nervous, panicked, and just sat there till the thing basically blew up. Was not a good night pulling.
See, that's why we don't have those multi-engine tractors anymore.
Not yet. You'll be back one day.
Yeah. Me at the North Carolina State Fair, basically the track was being a hooking son of a gun. People were getting rowdy, getting out of shape, and that was the first time I ever went to a pull without Bruce. And this probably had something to do with why I wrecked. And I was very adamant, and kind of still am. You never lower your hitch, because if you lower your hitch, somebody with a hitch that's all the way up is going to kick your ass. And everybody was lowering their hitch, and I said, nope, I'm not going to lower my hitch. And Richwine said, I think you'd better lower your hitch, Tyler, because Larry Richwine was there. And I said, yeah, but Larry, if I don't, no one will be able to touch me. And I went out there like an ignorant ass, and the front end came up and down, so aggressive, and I was too stupid to let out of it. And finally, the tractor just surged forward, ripped the half-inch bolt, just sheared it. The hitch still had the half-inch bolt in it, and it looked like somebody just cut it with a hacksaw on both sides. And the tractor shot up and landed on the nose, and the chassis was tweaked. And of course, I jumped out and put my fist in the air because I didn't want to get thrown on a stretcher. But similar to Chase, in all honesty, I'm pretty sure I was a bit concussed, because later in the trailer that night, because I mean, I didn't have the toter there, I just had a pickup truck and an enclosed trailer, and I was laying there, and it was almost just like, what exactly happened? Like, what's going on here? And yeah, we made it home and cut everything apart, and it was a good time.
Is that the one that had the for sale sign on the front of it, Tyler?
Yeah, probably. But I told him when he left, I said, you want to go to the pull, you can take it there. That's fine. I said, just make sure you don't bring it back with oil dripping out of all corners of the trailer. And it was all of that and some more.
Well, they definitely didn't touch it, Tyler.
Yeah, you'll have that on those bigger jobs, as they say. So,
yeah, good question.
Yep. All right, yeah, great question. Thanks for that. Next one. What's the chances of bringing back the announcer from the Netherlands for a season at Pulltown, or session at Pulltown? Keep up the good work on the podcast. And Tyler's shotgun game is still weak. I've got a suspicion on who wrote that. There was a gentleman at Bowling Green last year holding a sign saying Tyler's shotgun game is still weak, and I called him out from the winner's circle. I should have. Next year at Bowling Green, if I get in the winner's circle, I'm going to challenge him to come to the winner's circle if I'm lucky
Take
enough.
A picture, like join the team in the winner's circle.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take him on, But I would hope the chances of that announcer coming back, I believe that was the guy from the Made Pull over in the Netherlands.
It was.
And
this is a good time. I'm sorry.
Dude, they got their own way of bringing the excitement from the microphone. I don't know the phrase offhand, so I'm probably going to screw it up. But I'm going to do my best. Like, to build excitement, those guys on the mic will just go beep beep, and just everybody's like, ah! And they just go nuts. So that's
pretty cool. This is
cool.
A good time to segue. Jason and Kinsey, who helps manage this podcast on the back end. You all are going to Germany next weekend. Can you tell us a little bit about your plans to do that and what you plan to possibly get out of the trip and so forth while We're
Yes.
gonna let you talk for a minute because we asked you to.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I don't want to Jason interrupts board like you have, Chase. For just one podcast anyway. Yeah, no, Fugtorf next Saturday and Sunday. We're the Green Monster team invited us to come on over there. We're going to work with Sasha Mecking a little bit and see how he does his live streams for his floating finish stuff. And we've had some German hot farms on Full Pull Live a couple weeks ago, and we're going to go over there and cover European pulling. I feel like they do a really good job of coming over here and covering like Bowling Green and Toma and Hillsboro, some of those, our big events. And I don't feel like we do a good enough job going over there. So they invited, it's a combination of Full Pull and Beer Money. And their modified class is wild. Triple Allisons. It's not all just a bunch of Hemis. Everybody knows I'm a diesel guy. I like to see a bunch of different combinations. I'm pretty excited about that. And talk to them about live streaming as well. It's going to be fun. So,
Jason, I think your reward for being on this podcast tonight, we brought the board team on before, which we all know from being mini rock competitors. But I challenge you to try to identify a couple teams that would be willing to stay up late in the evenings or early in the mornings, whatever it is, to join us in this podcast. I think that's pretty cool for our American fans, and that's a couple people to put on the list.
I'll make
big teams.
Let us know in the comments who you want to see, and I'll get it done. You guys let us know in the comments, and I'll get it. I'll make it happen.
We definitely love our pulling.
European pulling is awesome, though.
Yeah,
it is. It's super cool.
Like Jason was saying, the variety that they have over there compared to what we have here. I mean, our variety is weak compared to what they're putting down, and it is killer to see a variety of things compete against each other, much like that other guy was saying with his question earlier. So, all right, next question. What do we got here? Hey guys, love the show. It's always great listening to the podcast at work or on the road going to our livestock shows. My question for Jeff Hirt, Mr. Excitement himself, while driving the Superstock Open Tractor, were there any standout pulls that you never quite met full expectations on? Dad, what do you think? Should we bring the man himself on to answer this? Do you want to bring Jeffrey in? Give Jeffrey his intro, Dad. Really build him up here.
I think you do a lot better job on the mic than I do, but nevertheless, let's have Jeff Hirt on. Of course, well known as the diesel super stock he used to run. Then he ran the alcohol super stock. And then he got into doing it all on his own with the mini rods. And now he has got a 4-engine mod that he is going to come out and run next year. And I'm sure that's going to be a good time watching him with that. Jeff is a very, very smart puller. So let's hear it from him himself. He can answer this question.
I want to give him the nickname, the Prince of Port Clinton. It just hit me. The Prince of Port Clinton, Jeff Hirt. Welcome to the No Practice Podcast.
I guess I'm speechless. I don't know where that might have come from there, Chase. But
the Prince, I like it. You're a prince.
The Prince of Port Clinton.
Jeff, I put a comment up on Full Pull Facebook earlier. Like, when you think of Jeff Hirt, what's the first thing you think of? And it was the comments are very comical. But people love you, Jeff, so it's pretty cool. So,
well, I appreciate that. We have a lot of fun. I'm very passionate, very vocal. You know where I stand. There's not much sugarcoating. There's not much beating around the bush.
Yeah,
before we go into you talking about how great a mini rod pull you are, Jeff. Let's give the fan their due diligence, Tyler.
Yeah.
I don't know, backstage. Let's try to put a bow on that for these people. Then we got plenty to talk about with Jeff.
Yeah, we got to throw that question up. We got to have Jeff answer that backstage. If we can get that thrown up for just a minute. I believe it was Jeff. Was there a standout pull where? My question for Jeff Hirt, Mr. Excitement himself, while driving the Superstock tractor, were there any standout pulls that you never quite fully met the expectations of the tractor? Like, did you win them all? Did you fall short on one?
We fell short more than we won by far. We've had a lot of good days, but way more bad days, and we learned from the bad days to get some good days. And I guess that's kind of a loaded question. I mean, of whose expectations or what expectations? My wife says Macville or whatever, but I'm like, well, yeah, it blew up, but we won. So
Well, that's a success in my book, Jeff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and it was the second day. You get to go home and fix it. I mean, we had a little time, so just.
Well, my kid would do it on the first day, and I says, where was the fuel leak? He said, this big line right here. I said, why didn't you let out of it? He said, Dad, but we won.
It was still
And I'm
going.
like, we really didn't.
Yeah.
Well,
No, I did. That
Yeah,
year we were
yeah.
struggling to hang with Shelton's,
Bruce-
and I went 370 foot. I don't regret it.
there's never been a win in tractor pulling where the money was better than what we do. So that's not the win. The win is to be able to sit here and say, "Yep, I got that solid gold plastic trophy."
There you
Solid
go.
gold plastic trophy.
Now, Jeffrey, question for you. Did you ran the diesel super a little bit before you ran the alcohol,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought you drove that some.
1990 Galax, Virginia, or Galax, or whatever. It was my
Galax.
first time ever in competition, and starting. We went back, and I don't remember. It was Tommy Dickerson or one of them says, "Well, are you going to jump on it?" I asked Dad. He says, "No, he's going to go out there and either embarrass himself or do it right." Well, I got it lit. It didn't do so well on that, and but we learned some lessons from it, and I learned the hard way that, man, that thing was a lot of work, and even when it run right, it wasn't a lot of fun because it just wasn't super competitive, and so it drove us to changing our ways and doing some different stuff, and we learned a lot from that tractor. But it's been a lot of fun, the whole road of moving through it all.
Well, Jeff, obviously the elephant in the room, it's a big ass elephant over your shoulder right there. How did take us through, obviously, your history as a super stop puller, mini rod. Everyone knows this. How, what was the path to getting this tractor sitting behind you? Because Jeff Hirt is now a modified puller, and I believe not for anything else. So take us through.
I guess that's to be decided. I might just be sitting in one. I mean, that's to be decided yet, Chase. I own
you're
one,
never
and
retired
it
from
doesn't mean
anything,
I'm going to be a puller.
There you go.
There was several things led up to it or whatever with the minis. The class got too big on that side. I couldn't get in the I Stakes series since I didn't run with PPL last year and that, and several things come up, and unfortunately Steve Boyd passed away, and we went to the funeral, and this little dude right here, I sent him a picture of this tractor when we was at Boyd's shop down there and that, and his reply, "Please buy it." And I'd always wanted one. Some things started lining up. There was guys asking about buying minis and this and that, and kind of threw some stuff out there, and all of a sudden I was selling stuff, and Greg says, "Yeah," he says, "we'll get together. I'll wait on you." I called him back. I says, "Don't hold it for me."
Is that Jeff's internet or mine?
I think it's Jeff's.
I was about to ask the same thing, so I think it's Jeff's.
Jeff, refresh if you hear us.
We lost him.
He'll come back in. So look, it's hard when you sit in shops, guys, with the metal roof. And we see Adam Kester. We see Adam Kester struggle with that a lot.
It looks cool with the tractor behind you, but
It does. No, and that's what everybody wants. But here he comes. He's back in.
Oh, Jeff coming back in.
Oh, we're back.
Jeff, take it away.
Sorry about that. I don't know where we left off.
We lost
the last
you. Greg, don't sit on it. Don't hold it for me, and then we lost you.
I said, "Greg, don't hold it for me. I don't know if I'll ever be able to make this work." I said, it's more of a dream than anything. And he said, "Nope." He said, "I understand. Well, some things come together, and some people start buying stuff." And I called him back a while later. He was getting pretty close before I wanted to sell the other mini, and that I'm like, "Is that tractor still for sale?" He said, "Well, only to you." And I'm like, "Well, that's an honor, but," I says, "I think it's going to come together." I said, "Give me a few days, Nat, and I'll give you a definite." And it come together, and I mean, I'm honored to own this thing, be part of what they built, what they've done. I mean, the Boyd family's been awesome. They've been great to me. Shannon said that he would help me if I got it bought, and he was very inspirational and very helpful on the mini rod program and teaching me how to make these Hemis run. And I mean, it's been a lot of fun. Look forward to having fun with this. I mean, Hot Shots on board. I mean, they've been great to us and got a great product, and it'll be interesting to see how the season shakes out.
So, Jeff, thanks for that background. Pretty cool to hear that story. Even as your friend, I don't know if I knew all those details. So, for the fans, that is the Boyd team. You know, I don't know what their last year of going hard at it, but they went hard probably 2019. That was the tractor that Steve or Greg or one of them campaigned. Tell us what the history of that tractor is. The last time I run it, obviously it had success.
This tractor was new in 2020, and during COVID, it only run, I don't even remember, 4 or 5 runs that year. The next year, they ran PPL points, and they won the points with it. And it was parked at the end of the season and has sat since. They freshened the motors. It's sat in the shop, polished. It just like it was a brand new piece sitting there. I mean, their place is amazing. You go in there, I mean, not a speck of dust on anything. I mean, hats off to them guys, how hard they work to do what they do.
So it was a front-running, you know, national champion tractor in 2021. It's been sitting for now 5 years. How much do you think the class has changed? I know you don't know the class, but you're a smart puller. I say you don't know. You have no experience in the class, but you're a smart guy, and I know you've done your homework. How much do you think the class has changed, or from what you're being told, it's changed in those 5 years? And do you just roll it out and run it like it was, or what's your game plan with that?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, the overdrive rule wasn't in there at that time, so we had to slow the blowers down, slow the gear down, and obviously change the fuel and all that. I mean, we're going to be pretty green at this to begin with. I mean, we got good people behind us, and I think we'll get it figured out. I mean, I look for good things by mid-season. Hopefully we just don't embarrass ourselves the first half.
But the actual engine and so forth, minus the overdrive, it's pretty well as it was with those two changes, the gearing and the overdrive? We asked too many questions.
No, you're not. I mean, another backstory on this that's kind of funny. I bought Little Bear, which was the old Green Streak Black, from Boyd's. Got running, everything was going very well and wasn't tearing up the stuff like the Super did and all that. And well, okay, let me back up a step. I bought a spare engine from them at the same time. Well, the funny part is it was the spare for this tractor.
Oh.
And that became B-Bear's engine. But we ran it, but we sold B without the engine. Now that engine's back on team to be spare for the mod again.
It's like quite the journey back to its home.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be fun. I mean,
So have you sold both of your mini rods, Jeff?
both minis sold as rollers. Tires sold to another guy. All the spare rear end stuff to a guy, and one of the motors went to a 2-wheel drive puller. I still have the motor out of B-Bear to be a spare for this. But we are no longer mini rod pullers.
Jeff, you are basically making the transition that my father would like to make, shedding 2 mini rods and getting a single 4-engine tractor. Honest to God, what is your anticipation from a workload standpoint? Granted, I would anticipate the tire maintenance not being quite as much. However, regarding the engines themselves, if you had to make an honest prediction, do you think you will have to work at this harder or not as hard, trying to campaign it on the same level you did 2 mini rods?
We had this conversation, the two of us, didn't we, Jeffrey?
Now,
We
Jeff,
did.
honest question. Don't let Bruce's presence influence your
We
answer.
did not. Honestly, I think there's more durability here until you have a failure of drive lane or this or that with the small blowers and the slow overdrive with the small blowers and that. But in the event of a failure, it's 4 sets of rods is just one night's failure on the drive line.
And is
Instead
it
of one.
fair to say, I have my own opinions, but those are irrelevant. In your opinion, do you feel statistically the driveline on a 4-engine mod is more likely to fail than a current mini rod?
The way the minis are starting to tear stuff up right now, I think it's about a toss-up, in honest opinion.
What about compared to a TRB rear axle, Jeff?
Norwalk a couple years ago, I remember a broken one in one of them, and I have yet to damage one the way that was.
Okay, that's fair. I believe that was Bruce's tractor Jeff is referencing.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it didn't sound very good when we came back around for the pull off, or they reset the sled or something. Tyler said, "What do you think?" And I said, "Well, it ain't good, and we're gonna let it develop." And it developed within about 20 foot.
Yeah, to be clear, Bruce's tractor sounded absolutely terrible. It was like there was a bunch of marbles in the rear axle, grinding, chattering, and almost shaking. But in the true sport of F it, we came here to run this thing, knowing his rear axle is essentially obliterated already, where most people would say, boy, we're lucky it didn't let loose on the last pass. Bruce says, screw it, back it up to the sled, and I'm shoving the throttle forward. And sure enough, it just
Okay, now let me throw one at you here. There, Hamburg, New York. I don't remember the year or whatever. Tracy Barnes was working with us or whatever, driving fast lane, and he couldn't get it off the start line. And I asked Mears, I says, "Hey, what's the rules say? Can I get on it and make the second attempt?" And he kind of hung his head and he's like, Well, I sailed out the end. Well, then they reset the sled. And we get out there and the oil's running out of the pinion. And I was pretty upset. I mean, it was a killer pass. Mattingly and Wayne Sullivan both argued with them guys. They said, don't reset that. That was an awesome pass. Well, they did reset it. And Joe Etter come down there. He looked at it. He says, how bad is it? I said, well, the oil's coming out of the pinion. He says, drag that sumbitch back down there. He said, let's make a pass with it. He said, if it starts shaking, just let off. I'm like, man, Joe, it's pretty bad. And I'm like, I don't know. We drag it back down there, and I mean, it's clunking and doing this and that. I leave the start line. We go out there. As we drove past the leader, I pulled the throttle back, and we won the pull. And there was teeth broke on the ring gear when we was done. So we got luckier than your dad did.
I feel like you got to hang that ring gear up as like a trophy. Do you still have that somewhere?
No, it's gone. I mean, them's memories you don't always want to keep. I mean, but it was a trooper.
Yeah, see, if that had been a mini rod, would that have been small, you would have broke them all off, and then you'd have had a bunch of junk. See, the big rear end, you just had to fix the rear end.
Tyler, that's why you need a mod.
Another reason to get a mod. I hear you right there, Bruce.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
For people that don't know, and there's probably some people listening even, Bruce used to have a 3-engine, then a 4-engine, then a 5-engine tractor. And then when I started driving, after running the mod just 2 times, he sold it. We got 2 mini rods. Bruce would prefer we get a mod, and I am adamantly against it. I say mini rods are better. They're less work. And so Jeff, as a science experiment, out of the kindness of his heart, is going to find out.
Absolutely. And I mean, somewhere this fall or whatever, you're going to have to drive this thing, Tyler. I mean, we're just going to have to cause this problem.
I don't think so, Jeff.
You know, that first pulling vehicle he ever drove was that 5-engine mod.
Exactly. I mean, got to go back to your roots, Tyler.
That's right. Sandwich, Illinois.
Go back to my roots like I knew what the hell I was doing.
Jeff, got to change the subject a little bit here, but you know, we love our fans. We have great, you know, people that watch this show week in, week out. Wouldn't do this without them. But a mutual friend of ours, they know who they are. You probably know who it is. There, after the Farm Machinery Show, we kind of had a farm show recap show this year, which we got on the topic. I believe it was Brett Berg that broke a rod because it sit too long or something along those terms. Tyler, correct me if I'm wrong, but like it was something we talked about for 10 minutes. Is this possible? Well, this mutual friend of mine and Jeff called me the next day, said, man, you got Jeff all messed up today. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, you watch that damn podcast. He's got all the engines apart, checking all the rods and everything because it's been sitting so long. Is that true? Is that story true, Jeff?
That was my online.
We did pull the pans, and we pulled the head off one motor. We measured the roundness of the big end of the rod. We checked torque and all the other motors, and I talked to a lot of people about it, and I had people tell me change bolts. I had people tell me don't change bolts, and I'm like, I don't know where to go with this. I can't afford to throw them all 4 apart the first night just because we didn't. And it made one pass so far. So I did call Brett, like you said, that, and he's like, no, he said there was a lot of other stuff went on, and he says he says that wasn't the problem.
So, Jeff, after it makes its first great full run, I expect a no practice podcast sticker on there for our assistance in the maintenance program for your successful soon to be tractor.
Well, I mean, if you guys would send them up here, I mean, they could be on there. I mean,
well, we want to make sure it runs first.
Well, I don't blame you. I mean, I might suck. I mean, it's a good chance of it. I mean, give me time. I'll get past that sucking stage, I hope.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
Jeff, tell us about the pass that you did make in it, or maybe 2/3 of a pass. And after that pass, you went home, and why?
We was kind of told we had to go home. I really wasn't happy about having to go home. I was hoping that
You blew all the ceiling tiles out of the place, Hirt.
Why would they put them there? And then, as this girl says, what did you tell Papa?
Why is it such a fancy building?
Says, why would they run tractors in such a fancy building?
That's well said, Lily.
That is well said.
And
Hey, and Jeff, nobody's commented on Brett's nice haircut now because he looked like little Joe Dirt last year, and now he looks like a little professional. I like it. So
Yeah, I
looks
like this
Patrick,
hair
it looks like
last year.
Patrick Swayze. It looks
Yeah, I
like
like
Patrick Swayze back there.
smooth.
Yeah.
little stud,
That's-
almost.
That's for his podcast debut.
Yeah. No, but you didn't. So Jeff, the run you didn't. There wasn't a lot you learned. Basically, the thing runs,
We
and you at least got to
we
see
didn't
time.
learn a lot. We don't have a clue whether gear's even close. I mean, the sled guy's not been around mods. The
But that
track
track
was
was
pretty
soft.
loose. It was soft.
Yeah.
It was. We didn't learn much. Every time I'd start to push the throttle, it'd slow down. RPMs come up, the speed would slow down. I'd backpedal, and it just. I guess we learned that it's still together, and it made a partial pass, and I wasn't a complete dumbass and blow it up in 20 feet.
That's fair. Where are we going to see this tractor make another pass at, Jeff?
I'd say the first time it'll be out in front of fans or whatever, it's probably going to be Evansville down there at the Bushlight Nationals or whatever. And go get my butt beat by my old buddy Billy. I mean, I don't know what Billy's doing up there, but I hear he was at Gardner Stone's up there trying to buy some stuff, and that I don't know what that's all about, but
Wait, elaborate on
Bill-
that. What are you saying?
Billy was, I guess he was up there trying to buy some stuff from Gardner and that. And I don't think they had spark plugs, but I'm just hearing rumors, and Billy wouldn't confirm or deny what all's going on. So
Billy Beers is looking at buying a turbine tractor.
I don't know what all he was talking about, but I'm just, he wouldn't confirm or deny when I talked to him today. And so I'm just saying, just look out for Billy. He's coming for your dad, I guess, is what he's talking about.
Yeah, well, that'll be a sight to see. So Billy, you mentioned some potential with the mini rod, and we'd love to have Billy on here. I don't know what he's up to tonight, but is the what's your share with the fans? I know about this. His mini rod, and maybe how you could be involved in that.
Well, some things have changed there. I mean, we was going to work with Billy and haul his mini around and drive it when he could, and this and that on the NTPA side. But we're not going to make many of them. I don't know. He hasn't elaborated for sure how all that's going to shake out. I mean, I think he's just going to run it a few times from what he said, but it'll be a good tractor. It'll be a lot of fun to watch him, and I think they'll enjoy that. Maybe his kid will get in it then and get them driving some more.
Between that and the turbine, he's not going to know what to do with himself.
I mean, hey, I got a mod, so I mean,
Hello.
Hello?
Hey, is this Billy Beers?
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy, this is Tyler Slough. We've got you live on the No Practice podcast. We're talking with Jeff Hirt. How you doing
don't
this
shoot me,
evening,
Billy.
Has your hat on the right way, Tyler?
Billy, my hat is on the right way. You can go back and watch this. My hat has been on the right way the entire evening.
Okay.
Are you so proud of me, Billy?
I am. Tyler, you've come a long ways in the past couple of years. You really have made me proud.
You inspired me when you really chastised me for having a backwards hat. That did not impress you much, did it, Billy?
No, come a long ways, Tyler. You're doing well. You got a program and you're going with it. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. So Jeff was just spilling the beans on some alleged rumors of acquiring a turbine tractor. Is there any truth to this? This is why I just cold called you out of the blue.
I heard about this thing. I thought it was a nightmare, and then it turned into a dream. But I'm still trying to figure it all out. But I did go in my garage the other day, and I did see pieces of a turbine on, like a lot of stuff that I don't know where it's going to go on a tractor, but they say it's going to fit.
Okay.
Yep.
So breaking news: Billy Beers acquired the General unlimited pulling tractor. Is that what you're saying?
Oh no.
I thought they was big turbines. What I heard.
Oh, what's that, Jeff?
I thought they was big turbines. I don't know what. I think he was.
Big turbines. You mean the people that wear the turbans on their head?
No, not those ones. I think we're talking about the jet engine.
Okay.
Billy, if you could break it down for us, how does a turbine engine even work?
I don't know, but they should just leave them in an airplane. I will tell you that.
They're no fun to work on. Is that what you're saying?
No, I just can't imagine. They say the rebuild kit is putting walnut shells through them. That's how you rebuild them. You just run them walnuts through them or something. I don't know.
You run walnut shells.
Rocks do it quicker.
That's how they make them rebuild.
Now, Billy, Jeff is recommending you use rocks. Apparently, that's a more aggressive cleaner. Have you heard that?
I got a habit of running rocks through my superchargers, and that hasn't helped things a lot in that aspect.
Yeah, I can imagine that. So, I mean, there's rumors of you having a mini rod as well, Billy, but I haven't seen it. Are you going to shove a turbine in a mini rod?
No, remember who did that?
Larry Richwan's son, Robert. Yeah.
Robert. That was funny. Remember that thing would hop and bounce and all the crazy stuff that would do? That was pretty cool.
It certainly would. Are you going to try to replicate that?
Remember, it looked like a jackrabbit.
Yeah, they should have named it the jackrabbit. Are you going to have another jackrabbit? Are you going to shove a turbine in your mini?
I don't know what we're doing with all these parts, but I don't know if Wayne knows it had anything to do with it, but the garage is full of all kinds of stuff, and I don't know where it came from. And I have not looked at my checkbook lately, so I don't know.
Yeah, those things could be related. You think that?
Yeah, they go hand in hand.
Some crazy stuff going on out here in Queens Hollow. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it on top or the bottom of the hill?
No. The snow finally melted, though. I'll tell you that, Tyler. We had snow for a while. We just got rid of it.
Is that why you bought the turbines? You were going to try and use them to melt snow? That was the intention?
Yeah.
That's why the snow melted. They didn't tell him that part.
Well, all right, Billy. The world is curious to see what's going to become of this, but we're gonna have to just wait in anticipation. But we've at least broken the news of the thought of a rumor. Is that fair?
A thought of a rumor.
Ask Billy where we're going to see him first.
On my head before I put my helmet on.
You think you'll have a turbine on your head? Can we make a deal that if you come out with a turbine tractor, you airbrush paint your helmet to look like a turbine, and we get to refer to you as Turbine Billy when you're operating that tractor? Special helmet just for that tractor.
Tyler, you just got to take.
No, you got to call the tractor the Turbine Suburban.
All night, and instead of sleeping, I'll be up all night thinking.
Billy, perhaps even your fire suit could have like a couple sticks of dynamite tied to like a timer, like that could all be printed on the fire suit.
Man, you're full of it tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, we could be like, here comes crazy Turbine Billy, just ready to blow everything up. And then when the tractor goes up in a ball of flames, we'll be like, that's his finishing act.
Yeah, I always wanted to do that big ball of fire.
Tyler, ask Billy when we're going to see him first.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, Chase is wondering, Billy, where we're going to see you first.
I don't know. I can't even find myself these days.
You'll have that on the bigger jobs. Is there also thoughts of rumors that you will be at the Busch Light Nationals with your mini rod?
Where is that?
I believe it's in Evansville, Indiana.
Oh, I'm not allowed in Indiana. Somebody's going to have to drive the tractor. I got thrown out of there.
Oh, you want to quick tell us the backstory there?
No, that's too long a story. I don't know how much time you have, but that goes back a long time ago.
Short version.
That was a rental car in Indianapolis at the PRI show.
Okay.
Let Wayne tell you the story about that, because he got out of the car and drove or walked back to the hotel room. He wasn't happy at all.
I can only imagine. All right. Well, we don't want to take too much of your time, Billy. When I just heard you were shopping for turbines, we had to touch base.
You know what? I'll give you a call later, maybe tomorrow, Tyler, on that private line that we have for you.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
It's kind of top secret, so I don't want to let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah. Know? It's about time we jostle that cage again. All right, sir. Thank you for your time. You have a good evening. All right.
Billy.
Guys, take care. Good hearing from you.
Yeah, likewise.
Turban Billy, Tyler.
Turban Billy. Sorry, Jeff. I had to confirm that. You can't drop rumors like that and me not throw a phone call out there. So how did you hear about this, Jeff?
Well, he just dropped a couple hints. I mean, he called earlier today needing some stuff, and then he starts talking about Wayne and all this stuff out in the shop, and then he was at Gardner's, and sometimes you just got to put two and two together.
Wonder how far they live apart from each other.
I'm not sure.
Because Billy's more northern New York, right?
It's a long ways from us, Schultz. It's not anywhere near where you are, so they're all up there.
Okay.
Kind of out there.
Out there.
Jeff, thanks for the insider tip there. Always good to hear from my friend and No Practice Podcast Hall of Famer Billy Beers. Jeff, talk to us about the super stock. Is it still the stable? I think I saw where Fastlane was sold. Give the fans an update on super stock status.
Fastlane's rolling chassis went to Cody Agent down in Tennessee. The motor's still sitting. It's back there. I mean, if we turn this a little bit, you can probably see it. Oh, yeah, you can see it back there beside that. Oh, you shouldn't see that green engine, but there, you can see that Fastlane's engine there, right behind the mod. But Runabear is still in the other side of the building. It's still fat and happy from Raleigh. It's not going to get run a lot unless we have some really good volunteers that want to help work a lot and keep it going. Maybe some sponsors want to throw some money at it. I mean, it's we laugh about it, but I mean, it's freshening that thing costs more than the mod. 4 motors is less money for rods and pistons than to do a super.
No shit.
Yep. It's getting kind of crazy in that world. And I mean, it's hard to, and then when you can run a mod for a $10,000 a night purse or you run a super for at best $2,500 to win. I mean, it's kind of hard to do.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that logic. Jeff is making tractor pulling make sense on paper.
No, well,
with a 4-engine mod.
I will say that the best part about that is my friends from Germany, and they says, you know what? When I try to make sense of any of this like this, we drink a few too many beers or whatever we get doing this. He says, well, that's redneck math. I'm like, touche.
I like that.
Redneck math.
You're making sense, though, Jeffrey. You went from 5 pulling vehicles down to 2.
Hey, we're moving on up.
Yeah.
We have Krista commenting here saying, wait, did he just show his engine? Jeff, there was a green engine back there.
It's a pro stock motor. That's a big block motor.
No pro stock.
It's a small block Deere then. I don't know.
Jeff, what do you got going on? What was that green engine you showed us?
It's a John Deere engine.
What are you doing with that?
It's sitting in a shop, Tyler. You've seen that.
Yeah, but why? You know, Billy's got turbines in his shop. We want to know why. We want to know why you've got this green engine in your shop.
Never know.
Brett, would you care to explain?
You'll get in trouble.
Brett, get on here. Tell us what it is, Brett. Come on, the people want to know.
It's just here.
Oh, it's just Dad. What's your speculation?
You never know.
Something tells me Bruce knows. He just doesn't want to share. He's sworn to secrecy.
Jeff's redneck math, Tyler, is that he's going to build a truck or a tractor for every single high stakes class for that chance to win $10,000. That's what he did the math on.
Ooh. That'd be good.
You can buy my old Mini, Jeff. Buy my old Mini, then I can go from 3 down to 2.
And that'd make you smarter than me again. Then, not that you're not. It just in this redneck math side, you're already smarter than me. I mean,
I don't know if I'll ever be smarter than you.
Yeah, you already are.
No, I don't know about that. I can't snowmobile like you no more. I do know that.
Hey, Jeff, your relationship with Shannon Leisner, he put those motors together sitting behind you, correct, when he worked at Boyd's? What's the back? And then he always helped on your mini program, right?
Yep.
So
Shannon's been very instrumental in us on this deal. I mean, I was pretty scared doing the blower program, and that. I mean, Shannon's wife was in my sister's wedding. Shannon's brother dated my sister. This, that, back in the day. We got family ties that go way, way back. I mean, we've known each other for a long time. A lot of respect there, and I mean, I love Shannon's knowledge. I mean, he's been very, very helpful in getting me down the track.
Okay. No, I was wondering about that because I figured, I mean, you can be all humble and stuff like that, but that tractor sitting behind you is one of the meanest mods on the circuit. So that's cute that you're going to take you till half season to figure it out, but that's a line of crap and everybody knows it. So
I'll be happy I'll be very happy if it's performing up to our expectations by midseason.
What do you anticipate the tire work like compared to a mini rod, Jeff?
I've got a call in and kind of an open check, and I says, Chad, I just plan on these things being there on Monday mornings. So
after every weekend, then.
Yeah, on them 5 weekends, I said just plan on them being there Monday morning afterwards, and as long as you get them done in time to leave Thursday for the next one, whether it's 2 weeks or whatever between them events. And I did order another set of tires. I mean, this set will probably get used at the on the non-high stake deals, and the new set will be on there. And if we need to use these or fill in or whatever, we will. But I'm going to try to plan on using the new set the other way.
Is it going to be strange for you going to 2 sets of tires? Because I feel like you were famous in the mini rod class. At peak, Jeff, how many pairs of mini rod tires did you own?
I never really counted, but there was more than that. I think it was close to 20 sets at one time.
How many?
20 sets each, somewhere in there at one time.
How many do you think you got right now, Dan?
Mounted on rims or just
No,
tires?
Total sets of tires.
Oh, I say we got at least 20.
Yeah, I think so too.
Probably more.
We might be worse, Jeff.
I'm putting a new chassis. This is probably not many people know, but I am putting a new chassis together for pulling that I got, and they take a different rim offset. So I told Tyler, I says, you got like 12 sets of tires that are mounted up that you can run that fit on your tractor, and they won't fit on mine. I says, I guess if you get them all sharp, you probably won't have to do much for tire sharpening this summer.
But the problem is, Tyler's the smart puller that tries to use one set and maintain that consistency, which I appreciate.
That is true. I think all year last year, I ran the same set of tires at every single pull because I feel like a tire is a variable that is inconsistent. And the minute you switch tires, I'm not even saying they're better or worse, but if you don't have them figured out and know what they want, it's just another changed variable that you have to dial in and figure out. So I am big on putting a set of tires on, and I will run that until it is ragged garbage and then throw a new set on.
I think we did that on both tractors.
Yeah.
Last year.
I'm pretty big on that.
Yeah. Hey, Jeff, your relationship with Hot Shots, did it go to the next level with the 4-engine tractor? Is it similar to what they did in the past? Obviously, they're getting way more.
They're working well for us.
They're more fender time. They got more fender. They're a bigger presence on your tractors now.
They do have a little more presence. They've been great for us. They helped with the stickers not to do the show and that. I mean, they work with us well. I mean, it's a great product. Very happy to have them helping with this program and that, and look forward to good things, and glad to see they're back on board with NTPA and PPO, or IHRA, or however we got to call this now. And it's going to take some getting used to. It's kind of like standing at Louisville or whatever. The year I won the damn pull, it went from Zeneca to Syngenta or whatever it was, and that. Yep, I screwed that up.
It's all right. Shannon says that supercharger sure does look good behind you, Jeff. We had some videos of you guys starting it up at Fort Wayne and different things like that, Jeff. So it was good to see you there. And obviously you didn't get to make the type of pass you wanted to make on it, but at least you kind of got that first hit out of the way.
Yeah, I got a little bit of the nervous syndrome away, and this and that, and it's been a long. It's like Billy called today. He says, well, the weather's getting warm. You ready to go pulling? I says, Billy, I'm ready to go pulling, but I says, it's too far off. And I says, there's too much work to do. But man, I says, let's go.
Are we going to try to play a video maybe?
Oh, I think we might have a video of Jeff's pass, perhaps.
Or I think we're starting up, or we have either a startup or the run. So.
Is it a different concept, Jeff, having to start one engine and then watching multiple engines start, or is it just no big deal?
It was a challenge, and I'm not gonna lie. Shannon was a damn good starter man there on this when we was hooked to the sled and that, and he's nursing it real hard and that. He's like, "Come on, give me fuel." And that. Well, I had an infected finger, and I could not even hardly turn the damn fuel on. Well, you can see me chewing on it there in the damn picture. But my finger hurt so bad I couldn't even hardly turn the fuel on, and I screwed up, didn't have the fuel on when we started that program at Fort Wayne on the track. And he kept it running until I got the fuel on, and that. I mean, yeah. It's
always something to learn for sure. Here we take a look at your
it's just one more challenge. And you add all the nerves and the other stuff with it. I mean, it's hard to think clear.
Well, that is a pretty building, and we see the ceiling tiles just falling behind you here. What did the conversation go like after this pass, Jeff, when they let you know you had to go home?
He just come back and he says, well, we waited around. I'd heard rumor from what some people had told others, and that I went to find Mike out and kind of confirm it, and he's like, no, you got to go.
And this was a test pass Friday afternoon, everybody. There was an actual crowd there for the actual polls. I just want everybody to know.
Yeah. It was just try to do it so I didn't look too dumb in front of too many people. Jason puts it in front of 1 million people or whatever. So
yeah, no,
it
was a pretty popular video. Jeff, thank you for that. So.
You got to love it when a vehicle can just bring ceiling tiles down.
Jeff, you missed the start of the show. Obviously, Jason's substitute teaching for our boy Adam not joining us, and we just put him right in the pressure cooker about, hey, so tell us a story about you being in the court papers and the local newspapers there in Ohio, and he blamed you for him ever going into that deal.
I did not.
He didn't blame you.
It was all my fault. I mean, I had Jason on a damn golf cart, took him over there, and then I had to get in the middle of the deal and try to help Mike out, sell the tractor, get Jason a tractor.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm
happy.
It's
kind of fun. They didn't know it. Look, it's a story. You know, we all like Mike. We want everybody to do well. We like to talk shit, have a good time. But it is, without Jeff Hirt, that tractor never would have been bought. I was actually an onlooker for all that. And Jeff had he started doing his redneck math and had Jason convinced before he left Urbana, you were buying this tractor. Is that pretty much how it went, Jeff?
Jason's money. I don't know.
Yeah, no, Jeff is a good friend of mine. He is there. As you know, there's no gray area. If you suck, Jeff will tell you suck. If there's something wrong with the live stream, Jeff is one of the first people to text me and tell me I suck that night. or if it's going good, he'll tell me I'm good too. So it's nice. So I like that about him. So, but no, I'm very grateful to own that tractor, and I'm glad Jeff introduced me to Mr. Beck. I don't think we're gonna probably talk ever again, but it's mine now. And did you miss it? The new wrap on it this year is not Mike Beck's High Tech Redneck. I'm gonna put that right down the side of it.
And touche.
He's full of it. He's not going to do that at all. Jeff, there for a while you dabbled with electronic fuel injection on fast lane. Do you still have that electronic fuel injection system? Do you feel like that may make an appearance on your Super? What do you think?
I called Mike Fouché, which your dad knows. He went out to the dyno with us at Terry's and met Mike and all that. He's one of Darren Mayer's very good friends. Darren introduced me to Mike, and Mike was awesome at what he made work and the time we had that he got to play with it and that. And there's just too much with no more passes than we have and no more this and that's out there for technology. The nozzles and the stuff's not ready for this level of boost and this level of fuel and that without putting a ton in there. And I mean, there's too many dollars to learn to go run for a $2,000 check. And I do truly believe that it could be leaps and bounds better and it could help durability in that. But it's going to take some money to figure it out. And we was at the end of the rope and what to spend. I mean, NTPA outlawed it and PPL was struggling at the time, and that it was a good time to park it and step away.
Hey, Jeff, did that tractor ever run against Simon's tractor? How long has Brandon had the mod now? How many years has it been?
It did. Ricky Long was pulling that Simon's tractor.
Ricky was pulling that tractor against this at that time.
Okay. Did these two ever go head to head?
Yes.
And how'd they do?
This tractor won the points that year.
21. Yeah.
Okay. So,
but obviously the Simons have put their handprint on that tractor, and
the world's changed.
Yeah.
The world has changed since then. I mean, the guys that used to own this knew what they were doing with it. This guy doesn't. And maybe the other way around on the other one. I mean, I'm not saying Longs didn't. I mean, they did a good job, but Brandon and RJ have taken that thing to another level. I mean, it's a bad unit right now.
I think it used to have Hemis on too, didn't it? When Longs had it?
No, it was the MBR.
No, it had minors on it at that time.
Okay.
Well, and then Longs just came out with another 4-engine tractor too, right?
Yep. They got a new piece it's in the high stakes. It's going to be another one. It's going to be a handful. It's going to be a really fun class. I mean,
how many are on that list, Jeff? How many mods?
I think 11 or 12. I'm not 100% for sure.
Okay.
It's going to be cool to watch. I hope they run you guys after the minis so I can be enjoying a nice cold beverage while you're making your pass.
I was thinking the other way around. I was hoping I could make some holes for you and drink beer and watch you.
I have to make this comment. So Jeff, obviously very happy for you in this opportunity, you and your family. You can hear it in your voice how genuine and excited everyone is, your kids and all, and doing it with your family. I know I'm important to you. And that backstory of Brett's pretty sweet, but I am very sad that you're not a fellow E-Rock competitor, not because you won't be there to beat my ass, but the last few years we've been friends a long time and we've been running against each other, but you have a talent that I did not know you had, and that is you are one hell of a cook and a chef. If for those people that don't know, you go by Jeff Hirt's trailer, this dude could be whipping up anything from crab legs fresh out of the Atlantic Ocean to filet mignon steaks. I mean, it could all be going there one time. So Brett was there behind you. I left him. I was trying to see, as the son of Jeff Hirt, what his favorite dish your dad cooks up is. Brett, what is your dad's best dish that you, in terms of him cooking, that you would, if you had one meal to ever eat, what would it be?
Egg fried rice.
Egg fried rice. And so it's just like going to hibachi, huh? Does he ever put a top hat on and dance around like Billy Beers is going to do with a turban?
Try not to.
Try not to. So
Oh, go ahead, Chase.
No, I really think so. Like, we've all been like Sam's Clubs and Costco's where they give away the samples and all that. I really see a future for Jeff Hirt. For you fans, you stop by Jeff Hirt's trailer, he'll have some type of sampling out there that he could be giving out to the fans. Jeff, I challenge you to do that moving forward. Lead off with the egg fried rice though, in honor of our boy Brett. So, but seriously, this guy is the one hell of a cook, and it always cooking. It's pretty fun, but I'm going to be sad I'm not going to be there to eat it all the time.
He makes good cocktails too, Chase. Don't forget about that.
Oh, I learned a long time ago not to drink those that he makes.
Well,
Jeff, tell him the story about this is Brett, put your earbuds on. So Jeff's been a family friend for a long time, but after Bowling Green, ourselves and even Billy, we've always taken our stuff when it worked out to Jeff's shop there to just leave on the road between the 2 weeks. And I think I was like 19 years old, and my dad left me on the road, and Jeff took me out to Put-in Bay on a boat. Jeff took me out to Put-in Bay on the boat, and Jeff, tell him how the story ended and basically how we didn't get escorted off the island. We ran out of there because you brought me in there to underage drink.
Thankfully, we had a friend that it was his brother that was the cop that was ready to throw Chase in jail that night as we was going to the bar, and we got off the island unscathed, but it was true Put-in Bay style.
No,
Jeff, was it more or less dangerous than when you and Bruce almost got into a fist fight on the
we was on our own boat. It was a little safer.
How do you recap that story, Jeff?
Nope, we're good on that, Tyler. We're good.
Oh, okay. All right. That's probably
have the 7 years of statutation or whatever have not wore off yet?
No.
No. I have no idea what he's talking about.
I was nervous, Jeff and Bruce were going to be in jail. And I feel like, the memory's a little blurry. We had a couple beverages, but I feel like we were FaceTiming Kevin and Lindsey Campbell as it was all going down.
Probably.
It was a magical moment.
Pretty good memes and stuff after too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Were they as good as Schultz during Christmas?
Yeah, Lindsay says the live video was epic. You can just imagine Jeff and Bruce getting into trouble, and we were on the community ferry that takes you to and from the island. So we had a captive.
We'll give a shout out to the local ferry here. The Jet Express and my good friend Todd Blumenstadt that owns that. They're good people. It's an awesome boat, and it's a really good time. Everybody should take a ride on that.
Yes.
Well, who started the fight at the NTPA banquet in the bar, Chase? Was that you or was that Billy Beers?
Is it me? I can't remember what all happened there, but Billy finished it.
We were all on one side of the bar, kind of sitting, eating, talking PK, Doug, and Hope, and Kenzie, and I think Jake was there, and all of a sudden, Chase is so tall, and we look over.
And he winds up with a sling on his arm.
Yeah. So
ridiculous. So, Jeff, I feel like this is personal details, but in the past, what has your peak weight been compared to what you weighed when you were driving a mini rod last?
My peak weight was probably when I graduated. I think I was 214 or 15. Then I was down to 180 for a little while, then back up to 200. And then I was back down to, I think my lowest I was about Farley time was 156 or 8.
Dang. And I feel like was mini rod competition the root of that weight loss?
It absolutely was. It was a chase that deal. And
so now that you have a 4-engine tractor, are we going to see Jeff bulk up a little bit on the topic of treats and good cooking?
I hope to stick around or under the 175 mark still or whatever. But I will say that the day I went to pick it up, Dad and I went to breakfast with Shannon and Ann Leishner and all that. And it was a pretty big breakfast.
Yeah.
He says, we got to celebrate not being in a mini.
I am jealous of that, but I feel like if I didn't drive a mini rod, I'd probably weigh 250 pounds right now.
Who is the heaviest mini rod puller out there, guys? Mini rod driver.
Boy, it's probably Bruce.
Farmer Bruce?
I don't know.
Who do you think?
How big?
There's
How
gotta
big
be
is
some
Brett
heavier
Berg?
than him.
Brett Berg's got a big old belly on him,
Brett Berg's got to be close to that.
Yeah, yeah.
but he's not as tall as Bruce.
Right.
I was 240.
Okay.
I think Kevin Campbell said he was 240 or whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lindsay's watching. She'll let us know.
Yeah, Lindsay, we're going to need
And
a Kevin weight
I don't
update.
know that Cody was very far behind that 220,
Well, Cody
240
said that.
somewhere in there.
Cody was on with Let's Grow Pulling Monday night, and he said that was one of the. He said he's 3 things he likes. He told me
Kevin says he's 255. So
Oh,
255.
attaboy. Kevin's got you beat, Dad.
he's only won 2 or 3 of the polls so far. So apparently it works.
Well done, Kevin. So apparently I need to get to 255 to have Kevin Campbell-like performance. So once they don't let me run the first day, then I just kick everyone's ass.
Lindsay, you're going to have to prove it that Kevin commented in the show.
Kevin commented from the shower. Don't you take your phone in the shower with your beer, Jason?
I do not. I do not. No, I do not. So.
All right, Jeff. Well, I didn't have time to write rapid fire questions for this segment because I was busy trying to wrangle up my guest host. But thankfully for me, in the notes on my phone, I save all of them. So I'm gonna run back a previous set of rapid fire segments here. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or a horse-sized duck?
The horse-sized stock, I guess. I mean, you might be able to outsmart that. I mean, the rest of them might get the best of you.
I understand. If you had to give a speech to a group of kids graduating high school, what would your one key piece of advice be?
Pay attention. The rest is easy.
Ooh, I like that. What is your favorite activity to do while on vacation?
Drink beer.
That's a good one.
What is
this? What is the strangest thing you have ever eaten?
Oh,
It's a family show, Jeff.
Oh,
That's not that strange.
oh,
all right now.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah,
All
I've never
right.
eaten. I eat way too many things that.
Like octopus. If you had octopus, Jeff.
Absolutely. I don't think that's strange. I think it's awesome.
No, but that would be strange to most normal people.
Jeff-
Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff's
I've
eaten
had
so many
calamari,
strange
squid,
things.
sushi.
Nothing registers as strange anymore. Jeff, what is the first job you ever had?
I picked strawberries at the cousin's fruit farm.
Love
I
it.
think I got paid 20 cents or 25 cents a quart.
Very nice. How many quarts could you do an hour?
We got sidetracked. The
Yeah,
migrants
that's
would throw
reasonable.
tomatoes and we'd have fun, and
I can see
it was a
it.
good time. I was pretty young.
All right. What everyday task could you win a gold medal in if it was in the Olympics?
Walking in circles, running in circles, something like that. However you want to word it.
That's pretty fair. If you had to pick one puller to build your family a boat to escape a deserted island, who would you choose to build it?
Your dad.
Solid answer.
We
Bruce
get her
gives you a
done.
thumbs up. If you were given a 30-second Super Bowl commercial for free, what message would you try to send to the world?
Get out of the damn left lane if you're not going to go fast.
I like it.
Bruce is a fan of that as well. What animal do you fear the most, Jeff?
I don't know, tiger.
Yeah, those are scary, especially when they're behind the wheel after playing golf.
That's part of where that went. I mean, you
Yeah.
heard it. I mean, the two lions says, we would never drive drunk, but a tiger would.
I have heard that one. Jeff, if you had to pick one conspiracy theory to say that you believe in, which one would it be?
We're gonna have passed that one.
Fair enough. Would you have trusted the first person that ate an egg that came from a chicken?
Ooh. How long after?
Right after.
Not so sure. Don't think so.
I don't think I would have either. There you go, Jeff. That's a rapid fire segment. You got Mr. Ryan DeBro's questions there. Yeah, a horse-sized duck is the scariest.
It is.
For sure.
What was
Jeff,
that show? Howard the Duck? Tyler, you remember that? Are you too young for Howard the Duck? Was that an HBO or what was that?
Yeah,
Was it a
I
movie?
recall that scary-looking character. He
Yeah, that was a
little
big-ass duck,
intimidating to a
Tyler.
young Tyler.
Yep.
I guess I don't remember that.
Jeff, thanks for joining us tonight. You know, you're a repeat guest, but you may, right, if you want to admit it or not, you are a star in the sport of pulling. You have fans, and the news of you getting a mod and jumping in that category is none that, doesn't bring a ton of, none that no one wouldn't expect bring a ton of excitement. So thank you for joining us. I got to ask you this question, and we may need to get towards wrapping. I'm currently going across the Red River Gorge here. But Jeff, the October 2026 define success for Running Bear Full Streak, what that looks like.
If we can end up in the top 5 of that group after a full season and not have made a bunch of junk and pissed a bunch of people off, I mean, it's going to be a good year.
That's fair.
So the top five finishes is the goal for you. Obviously, you're going to try to win, but you're going to be okay with that. That's where we land.
And I'm not saying I'm going to be super happy with it. I'm going to be okay with it.
Yeah.
I think I'll be super happy with top 5 myself.
Same.
Yeah. Right.
Jeff's been used to kicking a lot of ass, so we're going to see if he can transfer that.
Yeah,
to the
Jeff is an ass kicker. Jeff,
it's Saturday night in Farley, Iowa. Your last hook in the class. It's always sweet to take first place, but it's always a little bit sweeter when you get to take it from that certain someone. Who's your certain someone going to be in that 4-engine mod class?
The leader.
Oh, that's so soft, Jeff. That's so soft. You're not soft. Come on, bring the heat.
Jeff's not
bring the
drinking
heat,
enough
Jeff.
tonight.
No, he's so soft. Come on, bring the heat, Jeff.
Hey, the past is the past. This season will be what it is. Nobody knows who's going to be out front at what point. Might be Longs, might be Burgess, might be.
Way to politically not answer the quick question. So, who's one guy you want to beat more than anybody?
All the other competitors. There's no one person. I just want to beat them all. I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
Jeff, if everyone from the high stakes mod class took a turn being the guy in a dunk tank, who would you be most likely to peel $5 out to throw a ball at the target?
Every one of them.
Every one of them. Yeah.
We got a stack of 5s, Tyler.
That would cost $50, bro.
That's all right.
I feel like we could do that. We should do that at Bowling Green for our next No Practice Podcast live show. We're going to have to get a dunk tank, and we're going to have to put fellow competitors on the chair and bring other competitors up to spend money towards Make-A-Wish to try to dunk drivers into the water.
And we can just play up nothing but play-by-play, and everybody calls the other driver to so, Jeff Hirt, who are you calling forward? Ken Vinny. So,
bring it.
Yeah. No, I like the idea. Good call.
Hey, Jeff, that Chaotic Motorsports, did you sell your social media strategy with that chassis? Because those guys are killing it.
John is doing. Their team is doing awesome. We've been a lot busier in the shop, and the wife. We had family vacation, and the store's getting super, super busy. So the wife hasn't been able to push us quite as hard as we'd like on the social media and that, but life happens, and I mean we gotta make business work. So, but them guys are doing awesome. They're going to be good competitors. I mean, they're just.
Do they have a pulling
good
background?
people?
Do they have a pulling background?
I don't. He said he's never pulled. He's always been a spectator and that, and just a straight up great guy, straight shooter. He's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to working with him and trying to help him out.
That's the chassis that you painted white went to them, right?
Yeah, that was B-Bear.
That was B-Bear. Okay.
Yep.
And where did
the other one go? I wasn't sure what I thought about it all being white, but he wanted a powder coated white, and Tracy, my neighbor up here, Tracy Whitaker, painted the fenders and did a great job, and the thing looked really good.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Jeff, you mentioned your store there. Obviously, we know you farm, you do a lot of things, but as far as the store, describe to us, give it a plug, tell us what you offer if people are in the area, or even like my father, I know he buys a lot of things from you. Even if you're not in the area, sometimes legitimately your prices are so good, it might be worth a 4, a 5, a 6, an 8-hour drive going up to meet Jeff and buying what he has to offer. Jeff, tell us what you do.
No, wait,
let me get my wife Jessica, because all I do is tractor pull and she does everything else. Jess, come on in, babe.
She's sitting over saying, no more people. I'm overwhelmed. But no, we love all our customers. We appreciate them all. I mean, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, Truck Show Time or whatever, Ethan Foster picked up some mowers, met us south by Chase's house down there from another dealer, and he took one for him and Martin Daniel home. I mean, we got Steel, Ferris, Skag, Toro, Exmark. We're a very large lawn and garden dealer. I mean, we do probably 250 zero turns a year and probably 1,000 pieces of handheld steel stuff. A lot of stuff moving, and very blessed to have all the customers we do and be able to do what we do.
So if you're heading to a pull, you're a puller or a spectator, you can reach out to Jeff. You can buy a weed eater, a leaf blower, you name it. He'll bring it with him to the pull. He'll hook you up. Get a hold of Jeff.
Appreciate that.
Well, he has all that room that now, and like he will put zero turn in his hauler with his pulling tractor and drop it off to you. Jeff, last year alone, how many zero turns did you sell to pullers and deliver at the pulls? Because I know like our circle of people bought about 10 of them from you.
Yeah, I was going to say there was like 10 went to Kentucky, Alabama area down there and that. And I'd say there was probably 20 of them, 25 that went to pullers and that. And I mean, it's been good. And I mean, we can offer some really good pricing. I mean, there's some special fleet deals. I mean, if you get together and do multiples, and just a lot of good stuff happening, and blessed to be able to do it.
Yeah. And one last thing, shout out to the OG Bill, Bill's Implement Sales. Bill has been on the road going pulling. It's great to see Bill back. Bill's passion and love still there for it. How's it been bringing your dad back around and seeing him at these events with you?
It's awesome. And to see how proud, as I see this question pop up, to see how proud Dad is to bring people out here. He'll bring customers out here, and he'll spend an hour or two out here talking about the mod and that. I mean, it's pretty cool that he is proud of the purchase. I mean, I was a little concerned about it. I mean, he's always been a tractor man, and he would like to see his tractor running. I mean, we'll make it run a few times this year, and if it wants to behave real well, I mean, it might get a couple more chances to ride along. But it's a good tractor, and I mean, it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
he is probably more proud of you getting rid of the minis.
He was pretty proud of them minis. I mean, I was shocked.
They grew on him.
They
No,
did. He used to hate the minis. I mean, Bruce knows the backstory of this, so we better just elaborate on this a little bit. Back, I don't know, it probably only been 10 years ago. He says, them damn minis are a third the size. They had to pull a third as far and get the hell out of the way.
That's funny. That's funny. Good stuff.
Yeah, I love it.
Hey, Jeff, Chase Smith sent me in a picture. Kenzie, can you put that on the screen? This is really funny. It's going to make us laugh. I hope she can upload it. There it is. The new 2075 mini rod class.
Yeah.
Oh, don't you love
that was
French,
at Mom's
Jeff?
funeral. That was, they sent that to me, and I did get a little bit of a laugh, and it helped today. Thanks, Chase.
Yeah, that's when you're leading the Grand National Light Mod class, you can send memes like that and talk smack, so it's all good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, do you have anything else before we end this?
Thank you guys for everything you do. This podcast is awesome. You guys put your heart into it. We really appreciate all the effort you guys do. It's awesome what you do for the fans, the sport, the whole deal.
As always, it's only our guests that we give all the credit, Jeff. So thank you.
Yeah. And Jeff, we'll try not to create any anxiety with potential mishaps from engine rods sitting too long. We really apologize for all that labor it caused you, but we did do our part to help with the Running Bear full streak.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot.
Yeah. So, Jeff, it's been fun. Brett, Lane, Lily, tell all the crew we said hi. Brett, any final words from the kids? Brett,
Yeah,
wants
where's
to
Lily?
sign off.
Where's Lily?
Lily went to bed. Jess is still standing here, but
Brett,
Oh, hey there,
Brett and Lane, you got to give us some final words on behalf of Running Bear Motorsports.
Sign us off.
You only live once.
Well said. Well said. Brett, Patrick Swayze.
He is a smooth looking cat. Brett
what's
is
your
never
sign
this
off?
quiet ever.
Don't buy a 4-engine mod.
No,
That's my boy.
yeah.
way to go. You better get long hair like Tyler now.
Let's end it right there, brother. It doesn't get any better than that.
Brother.
Jason, thanks for sitting in for Adam. Jeff, Brett, all the kids love y'all. Tyler, happy birthday, Bruce. Always a pleasure, brother. Can't wait to see you all soon.
Tyler.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for joining us.
And to our cohort, Adam, we look forward to seeing you here soon. Appreciate you, fans. We'll be back in a couple weeks.
And the boss is stepping in here. I mean, you get away from the
Bill,
boss.
there is Bill.
Here he is.
Maybe Bill will tell us what that green motor's for.
Yeah, Bill, we got a question for you.
Will that Pro Stock motor fit in your Super Stock chassis?
Bill, we got a question. Bill, what's that green motor sitting over there, Bill?
Right behind you.
The one we're
Over
not
your
allowed to
other
talk about.
shoulder.
I think it's got a broken crankshaft in it, and Brett wants to make a floor lamp out of the broken crankshaft.
Sure.
Well said.
Off a combine.
Okay, from the combine.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Good answer, Bill. All right. Well,
That's the
guys,
truth.
it's been great. Yeah, it's been great. See everybody again in 2 weeks. Jeff, best of luck in your debut. Can't wait to watch you from afar. We'll know you kick ass, and always appreciate your friendship, brother.
You too. Thanks, guys. Look forward to seeing y'all.
Yeah.
Cheers.
See everybody in a couple weeks. Thanks, Jason. Adam, we'll see you here soon. Thanks, everyone.
See ya.
That's a wrap.
Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the No Practice Podcast.
Have a good one. Bye.
Stay tuned for the next episode, where we guarantee there still won't be any practice. Bye-bye.